Hey guys, welcome back to Real Talk Bougie. Thank you for tapping in. Welcome back. It's a Tuesday night. Welcome back, guys. I can't believe it's already Tuesday night. It's gonna duh, it'll be Friday before we know it. I mean, yeah, it will, but it'll be Wednesday tomorrow. Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna get into it today. So yesterday, jury selection started. Opening arguments, I think, happened today. Please, I got caught up into two different things. I started researching this, y'all, and then I realized I was watching something else and I was watching something else about a case that happened in New York. I can't even talk about it right now. I'm going to post something about it in Patreon like in a day or so, but I was like, "Oh my god." And then I real Donna Adelson starts in like a month. Florida is on spotlight, right? Like Florida, Donna Addison, this lady Susan Lawrence. Susan Lawrence is the lady who shot through her door and killed a mom of four who lived like they didn't live in an apartment complex. It was kind of like a neighborhood with duplex houses, so kind of like one house split in half, and it's kind of condo style, but it's not a condo. It's like a street of houses, basically. That I don't know. They call them duplexes down here. I'm not sure what you guys call. Everyone calls them something different. Anyway, so ma'am shot through the door and killed a mom of four. The whole entire neighborhood was complaining about her. She was kind of like, like everyone has it, and I'm sure the younger kids too, but kids seem to play outside a little bit less, but obviously kids still play outside when you have a neighborhood with like a lot of kids. Anyway, yesterday was your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to the Leos. Leos are on deck. To all of my Leos, happy birthday. It's Leo season, guys. It's your birthday season, and I hope that you all enjoy. Miss T, thank you so much, sis. Thank you. Guys, I was back there. I had to work behind the scenes on handling some business for a couple of bougie gang. And I was like, you know what? I am not I am not starting until I fix this issue. So anyway, thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you bubbling up your member milestone. Thank you so much. And it means a lot and it goes a long way. So thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Yes, Bougie Gang, I feel like a huge treat because I haven't been able to catch a live forever. Girl, bingo. Okay. Bingo. Bingo. Okay, so ma'am, Miss Susan Lawrence. So Law and Crime did a video. Let's watch the Law and Crime video. Let's watch a little bit of the 911 call and the body cam. You'll see a lot of body cam in the Law and Crime video. And then the 911 operator testified today. They got right to it. Like went through opening arguments. I do have like a synopsis of opening day, so I don't know if we're going to need to. We may or may not want to watch that whole part. But ma'am is indigent allegedly. I did see that she's 59. She's giving, and I'm not trying to be. Look, they say she's 59. I'm gonna just put it like that. They say she's 59, and it's giving. Okay, and she has a public defender. And I did see where she was evicted from the home. So obviously she doesn't need to because she had accommodations in Marion County. And ma'am is down bad. She's down bad, but she shot through a door and said that there was a threat. And that doesn't fly. Shooting through a door does not fly as a threat because we're gonna see how that turns out. Anyway, let me pull her up. I didn't get a chance to share my screen yet. Hold on a second, guys. Let's watch this just to get some foundation for some of you guys that are going to be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that happened last year." Um, let's get into it. Let me see what I can put up. So, because I hope everyone had a great day. Let's see. Well, this might be good enough. This might just have to be good enough. Let's see if this.
Susan Lorincz is now headed to trial. The Florida woman dubbed Karen.
Girl, they were calling her Karen in the neighborhood. She's like, they're calling me names. Thank you, Simple Dimples. Glad to be able to catch a live. Bingo, bingo, bingo. I'm glad you were able to catch Aquarius Bay. She did get here first. D Dub, thank you so much. Thank you. And me, look at me. I'm a gang star tonight. And honorable mention, Jackson Tabasco. Yes, 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 yes. I said 5 minutes, girl. It was a whole 30, but I had to. A couple of you guys were having that issue. I don't know. It just always seems to be something glitching on this YouTube app or whatever. Anyway, you guys, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for tapping in. Look at your phone. If you're not here in the live, if you want to tap in and chat, make sure you're subscribed to this channel so that you can engage your notifications and you can tap in and drop a comment and all of the things. Okay. So welcome, welcome, welcome. What's on her chest, girl? That might have been an EKG. Girl, you know Karen is always gonna complain of some heart problems. Like, let's come on, like, let's be for real. You know, Karen is gonna say immediately, she's like, oh my God, like Sanford and Son. Elizabeth, they trying to take me home. Okay. Girl, I don't even think she's me. Do you believe this time last year she was 58? Because we've seen what 58 is putting people to shame on today. There's a lot of 58-year-olds that look good. Okay. She's not giving 58. Like 58 in 2024, that 58 don't do that no more. That's not 58. And I'm not trying to be insulting. 50, okay? And not even like a Shirley Strawberry 70. Because I mean, there are people out here putting these ages like to what? Like, okay, like blowing our minds as to what the expectations should now be. Um, people are holding. There's a lot of people who are holding, and you know what I'm saying? You guys know exactly what I'm saying. Um, it don't have to be like that. Okay, I'm gonna say it like that. It don't have to be like that, right? Girl, girl, there's a lady who I follow on Instagram. I think she's like 80 something. She's a former Playboy. She was like the first black Playboy bunny, I think like 1968, 1969. She does her little workout routine with her sister. It's so cute. Um, ma'am is in her 80s and she's like, I stay busy. I stay busy. I work out every day. And she's a very pretty lady, holding herself all the way together at damn 80 years old. Okay. Very cute, all that. Um, yeah, but you know what? She's bitter. Like, let's just if you did what she did, if you have the trouble she had, you'd probably be looking like that too. However, at the end of the day, if she had would have stopped trying to be so much of a damn Karen, she might not have these problems, right? Everybody, like, sis, mind your business. She should have let the kids play and mind her damn business, and she wouldn't be remanded to the custody of Marion County at this moment, right? Like if you would have sat in your house and minded your business and handled your business and let the kids play and leave people's children alone, she might not be in this predicament. Okay. She could have been enjoying her life and her lifestyle and leaving other people's children alone. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. We're over here on Law and Crime. We're going to watch this just to get a good baseline because the trial started basically in earnest. I believe it started today. Yesterday, they did a very fast jury selection. And I don't mean fast any which way other than they got through it very quickly and the trial started today. Sorry I'm late, just hung up. Okay, yes, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. Let's get into it.
The highly anticipated case of Susan Lorincz is now headed to trial. The Florida woman, dubbed Karen by her neighbors, is now charged in the death of a Black mother of 4.
I don't want to be intimidated by them screaming and yelling at me, telling me I'm a.
I'm just gonna say, like, I don't think. Look, had she not been shouting racial slurs at the kids and things like that, I mean, this looks like a very diverse neighborhood. It was very diverse, all different, all different ethnicities represented. Um, but it happens to be a Black mother of 4, and she did seem to have a particular vigor towards this lady. I think the lady lived right across the street from her, and she seemed to have something for her kids, but also she seemed to have something for all the kids. But we can't deny the fact that I think that she played up like the lady came and knocked on her door, and I think she was shitting in her pants or shaking in her boots or whatever expression you want to use. Because the lady was like, "Look, you're not going to yell at my kids," and et cetera, et cetera. Knocked on the door, and she says she was so scared that she felt like she needed to shoot through the door. So, I mean, she's a mess.
Calling me Karen. I mean, they're calling me names. Really, we're gonna, devolve to this simple bullying. I don't want to face this.
It's a case that gained national attention after now 59-year-old Susan Lorincz pulled the trigger on Ajike or AJ Owens, Lorinc's neighbor. Officials say Lorincz shot at Owens through a locked metal door over a disagreement involving Owens's children, who'd been playing in an open field near Lorinc's apartment. In the weeks leading up to Owens's death, body camera video captured Lorincz making multiple complaints to law enforcement. Her biggest problem? Owens's 4 children.
I don't know what his problem is. This guy in the next building, and there's no trespassing signs. The kids have been out of control. They're screaming, yelling.
As the case heads to trial, we're taking a look back at what we know so far.
The kids are having fun. It's summertime. But there's always some sort of Karen, negative Nancy. We lived next door to a Karen at our old house. And the minute she turned her Karen shit over to us, I was like, we're out. Like, we're gone. We're out of here. Like, no more. These, sometimes some people do go a little crazy, who live alone, not just because you live alone, but this lady seemed to be someone who I think was not easy to make friends, or just be cordial to her neighbors. She lived alone. She was ultra hypersensitive to noise. It sounds like it's like she didn't want the other people to be able to live and enjoy their homes. She wanted quiet. Move your ass to go to one of those 55-year-old communities, 55 and over, where there's no children. The apartment complexes where it's 55 and over. They have no kids that can live there. Go somewhere that's more conducive and no children. Right. She seemed miserable. And you're living in a neighborhood, like when you see the amount of kids, this is one of these neighborhoods that most family people would love to live in, because you want to be in a neighborhood with kids when you have kids. If you don't want to be in a neighborhood with kids, don't live in a neighborhood with kids. Yeah, I think they're blurring some things out. Number one, because there could have been kids in the midst. There could be any number of reasons. Okay.
What we can expect looking forward.
I just don't know what to do with these kids. I mean, it's ridiculousness at this point.
The case takes place in Ocala, Florida, about an hour and a half northwest of Orlando. The deadly shooting happened in June 2023, but Lorincz first contacted the Marion County Sheriff's Office in February 2022, reporting that Owens got physical with her.
I work at home, I do insurance, and the kids are screaming and yelling. And so it's very hard for me. And this is my apartment here. When they're all here in the front, it's really, we can hear it's loud, it's noisy, kids are active. Okay. They're kids. Yeah. But when they come on the side here, I just can't hear my clients. Okay. That's not fair to me.
Yeah, I understand.
Right to have peaceful and quiet enjoyment.
I understand.
I'm sorry, my heart's thumping. I just didn't know she was going to actually get physical with me.
What the other sign?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not cool. You don't get physical. I mean, Right,
And
that's
she
ridiculous.
just threw it.
No, she whipped it at me. I
Okay.
mean, she hit me.
But Owens told a different story.
Showing her sign, showing her sign, like almost like she went and bought a little private property sign and she stuck it in the ground. So she has the sign and she's basically like ramming the sign in my face. And then when she went to pick it back up, I picked the sign up and I threw the sign. I literally picked the sign up, and as I walked off, I threw the sign. I said, I can go and buy a sign too. It still doesn't mean anything. At that point, I guess she's already on the phone and I'm being attacked. Someone's attacking me. I'm literally in the street now, proceeding to
Okay.
over here. Everybody's coming.
So that's Ajike Owens. She's the lady who ultimately lost her life dealing with this lady. These Karens, you got to be careful because these Karens are crazy.
Where this happened?
Right over here behind the mailbox.
Okay.
Other neighbors backed up Owens, saying she never hit Lorincz.
Yeah, she didn't touch that lady. She just took the thing.
So it's probably blurry because people don't want their face. People don't want to be associated with this type of nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And especially a crazy Karen, then she gonna come Karen over there. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, they probably were like, please don't show my face. Or maybe they didn't want to.
Thing out the ground, and that was it.
What thing?
The thing, the no trespassing.
But you see, it's a diverse neighborhood, right? There's diversity in the neighborhood, but ma'am is ultra sensitive and she needed to live somewhere else. She needed to go and find somewhere where she's going to be comfortable.
She didn't touch it. No, she didn't throw it at her leg. She did not throw the damn thing.
That's what London said, because London was a...
No, she didn't throw it.
No, she kind of tossed it.
Shut up. He's not over here to talk to you. She just set it down. And the lady just happened to be there. She didn't throw it at the lady. She didn't touch the lady or nothing.
But even
And all she did was tell the lady to stop yelling at her kids. That lady yells at everybody's kids out here.
Okay. Well, I mean, I wouldn't go over there anymore.
Owens explained the neighborhood children played in an open field next to the home Lorincz was renting. And apparently, Lorincz claims the children couldn't play or walk their dogs anywhere near that empty lot.
It's funny because I'm the one that never comes outside and says anything to her. But today, I just happened to feel like, first of all, before she moved there, this big open space right here, all the kids, they like to play kickball, football, and it's what she moves in. I don't want y'all playing over there. This is private property, so they don't play there. Okay, fine. I told my kids at least. They're playing over there, y'all don't go. Okay? So we have a dog, and she's always taking pictures of the kids. Oh, I'm going to call the police and have you guys arrested. Always bad for the kids. I told you, come over there, stay away from here, don't, whatever. So we have a dog. My kids take the dog out. The other day, she tells my son, I'm going to have you arrested, and you're going to jail. He's 8, so he's terrified. He won't even walk the dog.
Let's let her know all that.
Okay, so she's terrified. He won't even walk the dog anymore. So I had my 11-year-old take the dog out now. So he's walking the dog on this side. Now you live on this side, okay? You don't want him over here, fine, but this is joint area. You can't tell them they can't walk on this side. So they're walking the dog and he's all the way back towards the fence. I'm standing here. Come on, she comes outside to go to the car or something. She sees him. Oh, I told you I'm going to have you arrested. I'm going to have you arrested today. She has her phone out like she's taking this picture of her. Now she's trying to run back across the street. So I said, I'm sorry, what are you saying to me? And so I go over there. So I say, this is my private property. They can't have the dog over here. I told her, first of all, he's not on your property. He's on this side. You don't own it. And even if it was on this side, you don't own this either. You're renting this just like I rent over here, just like they rent over there. You don't own this. You can't tell them. Technically, if they're not in your personal space, that they can't walk the dog or even throw their football over there.
This was just the start of Lawrence's calls to law enforcement, claiming the neighborhood kids were trespassing and causing a public disturbance. Over the next year, she made nearly a dozen calls to the Marion County Sheriff's Office.
Kids keep running back and forth over here. When the kids are out front, I don't, it's really noisy. The way my apartment's set up, you can see it ends here. They're screaming, yelling. I don't get a break from the kids at all. I don't have children. I've asked them, please, the kids all live on that side of the street. For some reason, they love to play over here. I'm like, guys.
Probably because it's open.
I understand that. I have migraines, horrible migraines. I had a very bad car.
Ma'am, move. I wonder how her migraines are now sitting in the Marion County Jail. I wonder how the migraines are now. I wonder if she wishes that she would have had a seat and shut up because she got evicted from her little house. Her stuff is probably on the street somewhere. People went and picked it up. Um, you have a bond, couldn't pay it. I wonder how those migraines are doing now. I wonder, was it worth it? I wonder, I wonder, was it a sure thing thinking that your privilege was going to prevent you from spending the last year? She's been sitting in county jail for a year now. I wonder, was it worth it? I wonder
My
those
nephews
migraines, how those migraines
I
doing?
need more back surgery. I don't want to hear these children. I've asked them, please, keep the kids away. You know, there's other places they can play. They don't have to play here. They're screaming, yelling at me, telling the kids are not hurting anybody. The kids, you know, they're not damaging anything. Well, they're damaging me because the migraines are so bad. Most days I could barely stand. I'm on Pyramate. I'm on Furosets. I'm on Sumatriptan. It's horrible for me. I'm in pain. I don't hear the children. I'm not trying to be a but
Well, I mean, yeah, if you don't have any kids and you're ultra sensitive to the sounds of kids playing, people being happy and living their lives, go live in one of those communities where there's no children. I would make that number one. Well, she is now because she's sitting in the county. So she has really remedied that problem.
you know,
It's
not fun.
awful.
You know?
Okay. Well, have you talked to your landlord?
Yes, there's no trespassing sign.
Okay.
You know, and they're saying that this guy is giving them okay to be on the property. He doesn't own the property. Someone up in North Carolina owns the property. I'm a real estate agent. Looked them up. So I don't know where they're getting their information from. It's just not true. I don't want to be intimidated by them screaming and yelling at me, telling me I'm a calling me Karen. They're calling me names. Really, we're going to, devolve to this simple bullying. I don't want to face this.
As body camera video shows, Lorincz is in near constant contact with the Marion County Sheriff's Office, even calling them by phone to report the neighborhood kids allegedly stealing her things.
They stole the do not trespass sign. They've been coming, throwing bottles of water against my sliding glass door. They've actually banged on the door so hard they broke the, the casing around the door. And I walk out of my truck, they're screaming at me. As soon as I walk to the truck, they come up to me and just scream like idiots. And I finally lost my nerve today. I just couldn't take it anymore. I called the kids retards. Then the mother comes screaming at me, don't call my...
So you call the kids retards. It's like the weirdo guy who was at the lake last summer. Well, it was like the summer before last. And he got mad at the kids calling him a weirdo because the kids called him out for trying to look at other teenage girls. They called him out. Next thing you know, the man pulls out a knife and he starts stabbing the young kids. And he ended up going to prison for manslaughter. I mean, his life is ruined, right? He killed someone. He injured other people. He terrorized the people at the lake that day, that whole thing. And it's like she has to realize, like, like, how are you going to sit up here and call a bunch of kids retards? Like, what would you do that for? The kids were scared of her and they had reason to be, because guess what? 4 of the kids in the neighborhood lost their mom.
My children are retards. I'm going to put you in a nursing home. Like, why? I mean, I don't understand what's wrong with these people over here. I've never had an area where I lived in where they've been so, aberrant in behavior.
Right.
Did she say aberrant?
With these people.
Maybe she meant abhorrent.
The one thing I would say is if you have a smartphone or anything like that, or if you have outside cameras, getting it all recorded and documented. That way, when we do come there, then it's not the neighbors, oh, he said, she said type thing. You have video evidence of, like, if you have an outside camera, the kids throwing, stuff at your house, or, anything in that, or if you're getting out of your truck or going to your truck and they're doing that, if you have a smartphone, just start recording and say, hey, what, I'm recording y'all of y'all's actions, and try to keep a level head with it and everything like that. And then just tell them, like, if y'all keep continuing, law enforcement will be involved. And then that way you have that video and everything like that. That way when we get there, neighbors are not siding with her side or anything like that. So we have that proof.
On another call, Lorincz tells sheriff's deputies that her no trespassing sign was stolen again.
Because they were like, fuck out of here with that stupid no trespassing sign. You don't own this property. You're just renting, which, okay, she could say no trespassing, but you're not going to be able to prosecute anybody have anyone prosecuted for trespassing because you don't own the property. You're just leasing. You're not the property owner. You're leasing. You're a tenant.
What's going on this evening?
Lots of children screaming their full heads off, running around. I had my truck parked in front here, so I didn't have to
Look at that. It's December 22nd, 2022. So 'twas 3 nights before Christmas, or 2 nights before Christmas, and she's over here miserable ass calling the police. Can you believe it?
listen to the screaming and yelling. As soon as I move the truck, the kids are coming up. I'm like, guys, stop. They know they're not supposed to be over here. They've been told many times. They've previously stolen the trespassing sign.
Lorincz then says someone approached her front door, threatening her.
And the little kid tells me to shut up to my face. I said, don't be disrespectful to me. And we're just exchanging words back and forth. I'm like, listen, my name is Dr. Lorincz. Don't tell me to shut up. And he was calling me names. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. I said, go wherever you live. Listen, you're not going to come knock. His mother comes over here. If you treat my son like that again, I'm going to rip your ass out and go beat you up. Excuse me? I don't bloody well finish that. And I said, see that no trespassing sign? Get off my porch. And no, I'm not going to. I said, no, I'm calling the sheriff's department. And I don't know who the hell she was, but.
Do you know where she lives?
I guess somewhere.
Do you know what she looks like?
She was black, maybe 20s, 30s, but I'm not going to take this.
As this reporting continues, the sheriff's deputy looks for the woman who allegedly threatened Lorincz. In the process, he hears from some neighborhood kids who describe their interaction with her.
So,
Yeah, we're clear.
were you the guys that this lady was mad about?
Oh yes, and I just want to say that every time, like even
Hey,
if we're not.
hold on. Hold on. Let's bring it down.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Every time, even if we're not on our property and we're just like being loud and playing basketball over there because there's a basketball hoop.
I got you.
Like she just calls us names.
Okay.
Yeah, like literally, literally all the kids, because that's an open spot right there.
Yeah.
All that is not her property.
I got
The
you.
guy that I was just telling this officer right here, this guy has said numerous times, y'all come over here and play, because they all like to play football and stuff. Okay. So he's okay with it, and that's where they mainly are. They're more on his side.
Okay. What kind of names is she calling you guys?
The B word.
The B word.
The P word. Everywhere in the book. Like one time the kids were playing right there, and it was his dad outside. And then she came out yelling at
Cowboy?
Yeah, my dad.
She came out yelling, and she was talking about a little girl getting raped and stuff. Like, she's crazy. Like, she'll come out just yelling
she
about.
just says weird. Like, I have said stuff to her before, because one time I just happened to come outside, and she was calling them. I'm like, hey, like, relax.
Yeah.
I'm like, these are kids here.
But if you guys have permission to be over there, then I can't really get on you guys too much. But if someone's going on her property, which is just her porch, it's not okay. I'm not saying you did. She's claiming you did.
Yeah.
I wasn't here to see it, so I can't go one way or the other, all right?
Yeah,
if she starts screaming at you guys, I want you to go tell an adult, okay? I don't want you to antagonize her, okay? Because what happens is when you guys antagonize her, she can make you guys look bad. And you guys are just out here playing, right?
But in a separate recording from that same evening, Lorincz says her landlord said the kids weren't allowed on her property.
They've been told by Charles not to come on the property. Charles is the owner of the building. They have told, he said, kids, Like I said, they stole the trespassing sign. It wasn't trespassing sign. It was supposed to have that. That's why there's no trespassing here. There's no trespassing.
Sheriff's deputies explained that every time Lorincz calls law enforcement, reports will be documented from both sides.
Instructing the kids to not bother you, okay, or if you come out and you say something to them, they're supposed to go get their parents and what about well, that's not according to her. Oh no, that, honest to God, she said that. We've also explained to her that if there's any future problems, that either she calls or now I'm going to tell her if there's future problems, calls. Okay. It is going to be documented that, okay, that's what you're saying that she said, but it's also be documented what she knows.
Moving into 2023, Lawrence's complaints continued.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Aggravated.
Okay, so what's going on?
Okay, I've got young ladies who just keep coming by and think it's hysterical while I'm working to bring their animals and scream while I'm on the phone. There's signs, no trespassing by the windows for a reason. There's no trespassing because they can't be here. And then they're standing there telling me, okay, no, enough. They need to.
How much do you want to bet the neighborhood? I mean, rest her soul, Ms. Owens, who passed away, but how much do you want to bet the people are so relieved that this lady doesn't live in the neighborhood anymore? These poor kids that had to be traumatized, that 4 friends that lived in the neighborhood are now gone because I'm sure they're living with other family. But this lady is now gone, and Miss Owens is gone because of this lady, and Miss Lawrence is now on trial, which, good. But how much more peaceful of a place. It seemed like this was a nice little neighborhood with lots of kids that like each other. Like that's so much of a win for a parent to have nice kids in a neighborhood for your kids to play with. And then you've got a weirdo asshole that tries to parent your kids and hold them back from having a good time, especially when it's good kids and they're not. That's what makes kids do mischief, when you have like someone who's an interrupter and the kids are just having regular fun, and then they start kind of like, okay, let's play knocking, let's knock on her door and run. I mean, not saying that these kids did that at all, but it makes you kind of like the boogeyman in the neighborhood, especially after now this whole situation happening. But I'm sure these people are so happy this lady is gone, obviously not at the expense of their neighbor having to lose her life behind it, but she was very toxic to this whole neighborhood, and these kids had to go through all of this. Yeah, was it
so what I'm looking at, where they're at, you can't trespass anybody from that location.
They're right in front of my windows.
But here is showing them in the parking lot.
The whole area, this whole thing.
They're in the parking lot.
Yes. The issue is that the parking lot is a common area.
But they don't live here.
If they live in the park and they just cut through the parking lot?
No, they're not in the parking lot.
They are residents of the neighborhood. They're residents of the neighborhood. And if it's not your property, sis, it's not your problem.
They're on the grass.
That's technically
they're on the grass.
So unless they're like in here or
but this is all grass. Part of the whole thing is private property.
No, it's not.
You understand this whole development is private. Even the road is private. Okay? I have my real estate license, trust me. This is all private. Even the road is privately owned by the owners in this development. Okay? So everything is private, all privately owned.
Well, first of all, you can't trespass somebody from a road.
Okay, but they were still on the property. That's private.
The other main issue is they're not here, so I can't trespass.
Ma'am, you don't live in a gated community. You don't live in a gated community. There is no entry. There's no security. It's not a private road. Like, you're tripping.
Anyways.
This time, sheriff's deputies explained to Lorincz that she doesn't control the neighborhood and what she considers trespassing is actually legal.
You don't have sole control over the parking lot. There's 4 people here.
Yeah, but those children don't live here. I mean, they literally live across the street on the other side. They don't.
I understand what you're telling me, and I get it, but you don't have sole power to say, hey, they can't be in this parking lot.
But he's asked them to leave. I mean, you can call Charles. I mean,
I'm just telling you it's trespassing.
Charles is tired of you calling. Charles is tired. He's telling you what you want to hear so he can get back to renting other places and buying other real estate and living his life. Nobody wants to deal with you, Susan.
It's the first time's civil. It's not. It doesn't become.
Wait, did he say it's civil? He said it was civil. No, now it's actually a felony. It's actually it's a serious felony. And when Benjamin Crump shows up in your courtroom, sis is not good.
okay, but he's already told him no trespassing.
Who's he?
All right, and he's just trespassing right now. He's trespassing right now. He's trespassing.
He came over to come ask us a question.
And he's
What do you need us to do? What do you want us to do?
Tell the girls not to come. They can't come on when I'm on the phone.
Okay.
I mean, literally, they can't.
How do they know when you're on the phone? You got a red light? Why don't you put a red light on so people know, oh, Miss Lorincz is on the phone. We better go. Uh-oh, she's on the phone. Wait a second. She put her red light on. Okay, everybody be really quiet. Everybody be quiet. She's on the phone.
Cannot come on when I'm on the phone.
I mean, I can talk to them if I can figure out who they are. But
I mean, he needs to get, because he's screaming all the time too.
Okay.
He just needs to get off.
Okay.
All right.
Get your coins and get out the neighborhood. But no, that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah, I just don't know what to do with these kids. I mean, it's ridiculousness at this point. I mean, they can't come when I'm on the phone.
You see how some people literally drive themselves crazy? I do think that some of this was the repercussions or residual effect of Rona. And there really are some people who went fucking bananas. And this lady may have been a little bit bananas before. And this was like a perfect storm of, sis, get a life. You're one of the people that actually needs to get in the car and take your ass into the office. You being at home all day, you're worried about the wrong things. You bet you she was a hoarder. She was worried about the wrong things. Yeah, she probably has, I mean, maybe she had some mild anxiety. Who knows? She might have been paranoid, all of the things. She's bothered, low key even could be, maybe felt away. These people have families and she's there at, she has her issues, right? At the end of the day, this is someone who really didn't need to be as isolated as she is because she's so fucking bothered by people. She's bothered by people having a good time. She's not bothered by kids fighting. These are not kids who are doing anything. She's inventing that they're stealing, which they weren't, right? Who's coming to steal a trespassing sign? Some kids that are messing with you. Other than that, the kids are, they're playing basketball. Hey, they're playing basketball. This is someone who needs to be at the office. See how working from home, for some people, working from home is driving them crazy. Okay? She's able to be too observant about people actually living their lives and having a good time. And she's bothered by the kids. Can you believe it? In a nice, kid-friendly neighborhood.
I mean, what do I do with these children?
Are you
nothing?
Inside
they're
the
not
house?
your
I'm
kids.
inside the house.
Can they hear you on the phone?
Absolutely.
How can they hear you on the phone?
Because I told them to leave and they told me to go off and I can hear them through the window.
So they can hear your phone.
Oh, yeah,
conversation.
absolutely.
The only thing I can suggest would be maybe try and soundproof the room so they don't hear the phone call. I'm trying to give you options. I can't control everybody 100% of the time.
Sheriff's deputies then speak with the neighbor who Lorincz originally said was trespassing. According to him, Lorincz threatens kids playing outside.
And that's something I am. That's when I figure she's not over there because Every time the kids are playing here, we're doing jump ropes, whatever. She gets her vehicle. She goes like, I'm like, lady, you gotta be careful. I mean, that's when I say like,
was it your kids? That came
it's the whole neighborhood, man. We always play here, So we do jump rope, we do a little bit of everything. This is just an open field, you know. It belongs to both property. You know what I'm saying? So if the kids want to play there, whatever. And that's what I keep telling them. Hey, as long as you don't get in her door, you don't start throwing rocks, don't be cursing at her. It's okay. She can cut the cups whenever she wants. But and I was trying to reason with her one day because we were all playing here. You know, the kids, everything jumping. All right, let's go. And she's like, hey, you know what? One day you guys are gonna die. And I'm like, and that's when I like, whoa.
As this conversation is ongoing, Lorincz even comes back outside to interrupt.
Hey.
I'm getting too much feedback on the phone from the dog.
I'm sorry?
Go someplace where he's not barking. Please, I'm getting too much feedback. I can't hear my customers. Dog. Tapping.
It's a dog.
Can you believe that? She's a nut job. She's a nut job. She's so bothered. She needs to go and live out in the county somewhere, like further out in her own dwelling with, you know, a generous amount of yard where you're not bothered by neighbors, but that comes at a cost. You know what I mean? If you want solitude, baby, go get it, but you got to pay for that. And I'm sure that duplex is a nice price. Clearly, ma'am has to work. You could have all the solitude to talk to all your clients if you pay the cost.
Oh, we can't stop the dog from barking.
Yeah, but it's too much feedback. Can you please at least go someplace where I'm not getting too much feedback?
That's
all right, well, you have a good one. Apparently, we can't stay here and have a conversation with shit.
That's what I'm saying.
So.
That's what I'm saying. She's not over there, right?
On yet another call, Lorincz reports a neighbor kid wanted to show her a puppy, and she disapproved.
Okay, what's going on?
The kid's from across the street and his little buddies. They're over here. They're stepping on the signs and stuff. He brings out a puppy. He wants to put his puppy in my truck. I don't go for that.
In the bed of your truck?
Yeah.
Who?
This little child who posed for me because he thought he was being so bloody cute. That little child.
But this same day, sheriff's deputies hear the other side of the story too.
Right? And they're playing over.
Bastards,
and then the boys are playing.
She tells us to F off and stuff.
And she calls us an N-word.
So she lives right across the street, though.
No, she lives right there.
We play right here. We play right here.
She's over there.
See when
and
she come out, she doesn't want us right there, but it's a problem when we play
Get off my F-word property.
It ain't her property. We ain't worried about it.
She said, get off my F-word property. The kids are so cute. Oh my God. This is so awful.
Yeah, that's why
she be
just coming out here.
She be trying to call us every time.
She asked.
Oh yeah.
Because every time I walk past, she thinks we're trying to steal her truck or buy her truck.
We're not even. We're 11.
Okay. Yeah.
We're 11. We're up to 13.
I'm 11.
Do you even know how to drive?
No.
Okay. We explained to her that there doesn't need to be a call for service every time the kids are playing in the road or in the yard.
Well, apparently they've been stomping it. I mean, that one looks like it's been stomped out too.
Okay.
Apparently they've been stomping out her signs and like running past her windows and screaming and like ding dong ditching her and knocking on her door.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, you have like 20 kids that are under like 15. Yeah. I mean, not to say that it's perfectly fine that they should just deal with it, but there does come a point where you kind of have to accept that you live with a bunch of kids. You know. I mean, frustrating, sure, but listen, I was a little rat kid too. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't. You know, but it's not like they're not dinging up for shit.
I mean, I think we should talk to the parents and that's a big dog.
Yeah,
I think we should talk to the parents and tell them to at least keep an eye on their children because it seems like the children just run wild.
All this leads us to June 2nd, 2023, when Owens is shot and killed after getting into another altercation with Lorincz about her children.
Well, I got some bad news to tell you. Mom is not coming back anymore. Come, come. No, don't. Come here. Come over here. Listen to me. No, I know. Okay. It's okay. I know.
According to an affidavit, one of Owens' sons was playing in the field near Lawrence's home and left his tablet behind. When he went back to get it, Lawrence apparently threw the tablet back at the boy, along with a pair of roller skates. Owens then approached Lawrence's door when one of her sons heard a loud bang. Officials say Lawrence shot Owens through a locked door, hitting her once in the chest. She died shortly after.
I hate her. She's in jail for good.
Body camera video shows Marion County Sheriff's deputies arrive at Lawrence's home and take her into custody.
6403 Marion, I'm 97. I have one down. I have one elderly female barricaded in the house with a signal 0.
We got called. Oh, y'all think you better.
I'm in front. Sheriff's office, come outside with your hands up. This is the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Come outside with your hands up. Show me your hands. Turn around. Where's your gun at?
You got hands? You got hands?
You're going to be detained.
Is there anybody else in the house?
There's somebody else in the house. Can I just get my
No,
daughter?
no, not right now.
All right.
You're not under arrest. You're being detained.
Okay, I understand.
Come over here.
Wait, can you close the door? I have 2 cats inside.
Hold
I
on.
want the cats still running out.
Girl, cats are done.
As Lawrence is loaded into a squad car, first responders rush to Owens and begin CPR.
Get over there and assess her. I will bring the bag over. Here, I got to sit you in the back here. Go assess the person down. Okay, you're just sitting there.
Okay.
Hey, I need someone give her aid right there. She needs medical aid over there. Sit inside. I need you all the way inside.
Okay. I need help though. I
Okay.
have a bad
I
back.
need you to hurry though, okay?
Okay.
I know, understand you need help.
I got it.
Where's she shot at?
In her,
Right here.
right here in her arm. Right here.
Chest. Right side of chest.
Okay.
There's no exit.
Just keep, if she needs CPR, keep doing CPR. I don't see a lot of blood here.
Yeah, I don't see the blood either. It's probably like a 22
now. I got her
or something.
baby.
Early on, first responders speak with Owens' sons about the moments leading up to the shooting.
Hey, who all was out here when it happened? Hey.
I left my iPad over there because we were playing games. I went to get it. I said, give me my iPad to her. She threw the.
Just stand right here so I know who was out here when it happened, okay?
I left my iPad over there because we were playing games, and I went to go get it. I said, "Give me my iPad," because she had it. She dropped it, tried to throw the skates at me, and and then I got my brother. He said, "Come hit me with the skates," and then
All right, bud. Give me a minute. Just hang out by my car, okay?
First responders soon speak to Owens' other son, too.
She came and banged on her door, her window.
Okay.
Slide door. That she banged on that, and then the door.
Okay.
And then I was on my electric scooter right here, and then I don't know where I hear the big bang.
Okay.
I was running.
Did you actually see anybody with any kind of gun, anything like that, or did you just hear?
I was here running.
Okay. What did you see after that?
I don't know. I came outside and I saw my first mom on the ground.
Okay.
Just minutes after the body cam recordings begin, Owens' sons receive terrible news.
Today has been a very bad day. There's something bad that's happened. And y'all seen it, y'all understand it, y'all experienced it, right? Okay. Y'all love me? Okay. Y'all love mom? All right. Well, I got some bad news to tell you. Mom is not coming back anymore. Come, come. No, no. Come here. Come over here. Listen to me. No, I know. Okay. It's okay. I know. Okay. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I am sorry. I'm so sorry.
He can't go home.
No, he's home. It's all right. You guys are going to be okay. It's all right. You guys are all right.
You know, that landlord was really, I don't want to say the landlord was negligent per se, but I really do feel like the landlord did a disservice. He knows that lady was not dealing with a full deck and was also very much a nuisance to the neighborhood. And he was telling her he was just probably trying to get her off the phone, and he needed to show up and mediate and basically like, no, you can't do this, this is so sad, this is awful. Once This is like just a couple more minutes, but yeah, a lot of these people are showing up. So today, at the trial, some of these people, the neighbor, the guy who played jump rope with the kids, some of these officers that we're seeing in this. So I kind of wanted to show this because it was a really good depiction, because a lot of these people showed up today. But I'm going to skim through real quick when they brought her to her interrogation, and see how she handled like the lies she told. You guys have got to hear this. Um, and so tomorrow, um, we may talk about some of this again. So, because the trial's going on. I don't know how long the trial's going to last, but I don't know how well she's going to do. So, she's on for manslaughter, with a firearm, and she could spend up to 30 years in jail, which for her, they say she's 59. 30 years, baby.
Okay. So, relax. You guys relax. I know this ain't easy.
I know.
So one kid witnessed before, when the mom was talking in the cam back in February. If you're just now coming in, the mom had a chance to talk to the police a few months prior, and she said the little girl couldn't even walk the dog. She was so scared to walk past the lady's house. The lady became boogeyman for some of the kids, right? So the little girl didn't even want to walk her kids past the home, and so started walking a different way. The boys, how is it manslaughter? I don't know, girl. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'd have to ask the police department. I would say, because I mean, they would have to have a tough time proving it was premeditated. What we're seeing a lot, which, look, this is just my assumption. This is not an opinion. If they overcharge it and they can't prove that it's premeditated, like a first degree, then guess what? She's back at the house, right? If you charge it where she can still get 30 years, it's still murder, right? You have to be able to, manslaughter is, I guess, circumstances revolving around an event where a homicide takes place. Um, if it's aggravated, premeditated, all of those things, if they don't think that they can, so say the kids left the iPad in the field, and there was some text message that they had that says, I'm going to go get the iPad. because I'm going to lure them over here. And when she comes to my door, I'm going to blast, you know what I mean? I'm going to blast my guns off and see how it goes. That could be premeditated. That could be first degree, something like that. But if you don't have that and you can't prove that and the prosecutors don't bring that, then the people will have a problem because then it's not going to be justice, right? They have to be able to prosecute what they know that they're able to prove. And I feel like they do have a lot of evidence and ma'am is going to get a guilty. If they're able to bring that. Makes sense. Like when they tried to do like I forgot what the charges were with Casey Anthony, like you said, and sis was back to work at the strip club when it was over. She was, and you know what I mean. And they never even looped in the parents who probably helped her. Right? You've been a sheriff before. Yeah. At this stage, you don't want to. So like just so for instance, we watched with Michael Jackson Bolanos the other day. They gave him first degree. They gave him aggravated murder. They gave him breaking into a domicile, like a larceny that resulted in a homicide. They gave him several things. And when the jury acquitted him of the one charge, it nullified the other two, right? Because they felt like, okay, well, maybe so one thing they threw that out. They were like, no, that's not guilty. Then the other two, I guess they couldn't wrap their head around it because they felt like they hadn't they hadn't proved the case. There was reasonable doubt and they were deadlocked on a verdict. And then based on that Supreme Court decision, it put it in a case, it put it in a situation where double jeopardy's at place and the judge had to let all of the rest of the charges go with the exception of what they found him guilty on, right? So I don't know. I think that maybe some of these law enforcement are trying to be, or the district attorneys are trying to be more strategic and not try to just throw the book, because at the end of the day, if you overcharge and the prosecutors underdeliver, then depending on what's going on with the case, you might not be able to bring justice because there's so much law, so much precedent involved. I feel like she provoked. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she provoked that by stealing the kid's iPad. Well, just like she says they stole signs, she stole the iPad by picking it up out of the field, knowing good and well she doesn't mess with those kids. She doesn't mess with any of the kids. Whoever the iPad, we would have to prove that she knew who the iPad belonged to, right? So that's, look, I'm not her attorney and I'm not the prosecutor, but they would have to prove that she knew or saw them drop that iPad, and that would trigger the mom to come over and do all of those things to give, like a first degree murder, and set that whole thing up. I don't think that lady is that smart. I mean, she's that manipulative, but maybe not that, she's not, I don't know that she would be able to put that together. Um, she went and took that iPad because she's the type of person she sees something laying out. She probably had a ton of the kids' stuff. She had a ton of, she had a roller skate. She had the iPad. She's the type that she's going to pick up all the kids' stuff to kind of punish them and have them outside looking for their things. Meanwhile, they're at the boogeyman's house. You know what I'm saying?
Right now, God, give me strength, God. Lord. Give me strength. Lord, I need your strength right now, God. Give me strength right now, God. It's okay to cry. It's okay to cry.
She might have been ready to kill somebody. She really may have been. Look, she didn't. I mean, look, she really may have been ready to kill somebody, and we gonna find out with the trial. She's definitely a Karen. She was definitely looking for trouble. Shooting through a door, you didn't even know who was there. She had no idea who was even at the door. She's ridiculous. She's exactly where she needs to be, which is in jail, standing trial for her offenses. And I'm thinking they're going to deliver enough information. Hopefully, the jury doesn't sit there and feel really bad for her. Um, I hope that they judge her based on what she did and really listen to the community's testimony on how she probably really made these kids' lives miserable and the parents, because the kids can't enjoy the community that their parents work hard to pay rent or mortgage to live in, and she diminished their capability to be able to enjoy their peace and tranquility. She seemed to be the only person who wanted to be able to enjoy her dwelling, and no one else could. The kids could not enjoy to the fullest of, their neighborhood. It was sad. It's sad.
Devastating body camera video shows Owens' children crying, saying they hope Lorincz stays in jail for good.
It's my heart right now, God. Can't you, God? Give us strength.
I hate her.
Oh,
She's in jail for good.
Meanwhile, first responders speak with neighbors who talk about the ongoing arguments between Lorincz and the rest of the neighborhood.
It's gonna be chaos, man. You know what I mean? It's everyone's pretty heat up.
I'm very familiar with
that shit
this
is
lady.
wow.
I don't work this zone anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm very familiar with her. So I know the situation and what she has done and everything. But like I said, we're waiting on the major crime detective to get here so he can continue his investigation.
That's sad, man. I just feel sorry for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Susan Lorincz was ultimately arrested on June 6, 2023, and charged with first-degree felony manslaughter. If convicted, she could spend up to 30 years in prison. Lorincz pleaded not guilty, and opening statements are expected to begin in her case on Tuesday. Reporting for Law and Crime, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
I work with Detective Stitt. We work together. I was learning different things. So anyways, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and let him cover what he needs to, and then I'll get a chance to meet you then, okay?
I was trying to get the next video
Susan,
up.
Obviously, when we spoke the other night, it was kind of a lot of things going on still. A lot of the pieces of what happened were still trying to be put together. Since then, we've obviously talked to a lot more witnesses who were there. We've gained access to some video from around the area of where your complex is located. So during those interviews, during that process of obtaining new stuff, obviously it brings new questions that we wanted to kind of cover with you and try to verify some of the stuff you said, as well as clarify things that we don't quite understand. So I was hoping that we could do that today. Obviously, just like last time, I want to make sure that you understand your rights and everything. So before we get started, I just have to read you the same thing I did last time. Yes. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer with him, have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent.
This is one of those, like, how after they questioned Sarah Boone, it was like, okay, can you stand up? We're going to get ready to put these bracelets on you.
Present you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to execute these rights, not answer any questions, or make any statements. Do you understand each of those rights I've explained to you? Okay. And having those rights in mind, you willing to talk to us now?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said, we've talked to a bunch of other people since then. Has there been anything that you've thought of since you and I had last talked, in person at least, that you can remember that maybe at the time, because there was a lot of emotions and, you know?
I don't know what else I could tell you, honestly.
Okay. So nothing that happened that night that you didn't remember at the time, or you just, like I said, there was a lot going on that you maybe didn't think to
I don't know
say.
what to tell you because I thought I told you everything.
Okay, all right. So some of the things, like I said, we're just trying to clarify because we were in the room together for a while talking, and we went over a lot of different things. So one of the things I wanted to clarify with you is, and try to understand better, is when Ajike was at the door, when she approached the door, when was it that you realized that it was her coming to the door?
Because I said, who's there?
Okay, how did you know someone was there initially? Was it because?
It was a huge banging.
Okay.
They were just pounding at that door.
Okay. So initially, there was no words, it was just the pounding.
Yeah.
That's what started the interaction there?
Yes.
And where was the pounding at initially, where it first began?
The front door.
At the front door?
Yes.
Okay. How many times did she, was it just like one or
No,
was
no,
it
no,
several?
it was just bang, bang, bang,
Okay.
bang.
All right. And then you said you asked her who's there? Okay. And what was said then?
I think she said, why do you speak to my children this way? And I said, listen, I'm not going to speak to you. Go away. You know, if she had a problem, she should have called you guys. You know, honestly. I mean, if she really thought there was something seriously wrong, I don't understand why she just came over and just started pounding on my door and, you know, screaming and yelling. So.
And then what happened after you said to go away?
Go away, and then it got quiet for a bit. And then she started really banging, you know, just pounding on that door. Okay. She was relentless.
How long is a bit, would you say? Like 5-10 seconds or 2 minutes? Or?
It was an extended period of time, probably 20 to 30 seconds, easily.
But during that time, you didn't hear anything else? Did you think she went away?
No, I obviously knew she didn't go away because she was screaming while she was pounding.
Describe that. When you say screaming, describe what does that mean?
She was just, you're not supposed to speak to my children this way. Why did you, you know, and then she was saying, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, holy shit, you know, and that's when
Well, you said there was like the initial barrage of the pounding, and you said, who's there? And she said, you know, what you said about not talking to her children that way.
Yeah.
And then you said it got quiet. So there was no banging, there was no words being said.
Because I thought she went away.
That's what I was asking. Basically, I'm sorry if I.
No, it's okay. I thought, all right, you know, she's just going to do whatever she wants to do.
And you said that was like 20 to 30 seconds?
Yeah.
And then did she start yelling again first, or was there more banging?
It was banging, it was yelling. I thought she was just going to break down the door.
Okay.
So, I mean, my heart was pounding, and I was like, she's really going to kill me.
Okay,
That's all
so
I felt.
when she first came up and where were you when she started the beating?
I was
the
in the
very first
bathroom.
time? You were in the bathroom when she started beating? And did you come to the door?
Well, I was approaching the door, and then she started screaming, and I knew who it was. And I
Okay.
said, that's it, I'm not opening this door.
Okay.
And because I figured if she came in, she would just absolutely, you know, pound me into the ground.
All right, and then when it became silent at that first round of beating on your door, where were you at then? Did you go?
I went to wash my hands, honestly.
Okay.
You know, because I didn't know who was at the door, and I wanted to know, and then I was like,
Okay.
You know, so I went back and washed my hands.
Okay. So that's during the time where it was kind of quiet, and you thought that maybe she went away. Okay. And when the banging and the yelling started again, where were you at then?
I think I was in the kitchen.
Okay. All right. And then what happened?
And then she just kept banging and yelling. I'm like, you need to leave. You're trespassing. Get off my porch. You know, get out of here. You know, I'm not talking to you. Leave.
Okay. Who else was outside the door besides Ajike?
No idea.
You don't know?
Let me address this comment real quick. Hold up. I'm going to be. So, by the way, look, let me just say this. Everyone has to live somewhere. I don't know where you would want to live personally because we don't know you. I don't know you. It may not be somewhere I want to live. It may not be somewhere you want to live, but it's a place where people live. Okay, everybody, people live where they live. Okay, and people live also where they can afford, and people are happy in those homes. As you could see, it was a very happy neighborhood, very bunch of happy kids making friends, and your use of neighborhood, um it doesn't go unnoticed. I don't know if you think people are stupid over here, but don't bring, like, at the end of the day, we won't see you back. But I wanted to address that comment. At the end of the day, everybody doesn't live in the lap of luxury. Everybody doesn't live in however many thousands of square feet. People afford what they want to afford. And at the end of the day, this lady lived in that neighborhood too. And the bottom line is this. Um, Whether you think she was provoked on a daily basis, if she was provoked on a daily basis, it's because she allowed herself to be provoked on a daily basis. She's a grown woman who could be most of these kids' grandmothers. And instead of moving, number one, instead of not allowing herself to be provoked by 10-year-olds, she chose to put herself in a position where she's currently on trial, and that's what we're dealing with. So I wanted to, I hate to just highlight a negative comment because I don't typically take time to address that type of stuff, but we had time today, and at the end of the day, everybody doesn't live in so and so estates or this, that, and the third. People live where they live, and they have the right to have happiness, peace, and enjoyment, and to be able to enjoy the full rights and amenities of their domicile and the properties. And that goes for this lady too. And at the end of the day, if this lady wasn't able to enjoy her dwelling, then she needed to figure it out, and she probably needed to move. The lady lived in a neighborhood with a ton of kids, and she expected kids to not be kids, and she took it upon herself to use some sort, like, she took it upon herself to do something stupid, and she's paying the ultimate price. And hopefully there will be justice for the family of Ms. AJ Owens, because those kids didn't deserve that. None of the kids deserved it, but the kids who now are motherless due to her not being able to handle her problems, left these kids with no mother. And socioeconomics really doesn't have anything to do with this was a working class neighborhood. These are people who all had jobs. So it seemed everybody was renting what looked to be, look, they were living where they were living. Not my business. At the end of the day, that's not what's on the that's not the situation here. The situation is a whole entire Karen who used her entitlement to think that she was going to be okay by blasting through a door and taking out a mom of 4 kids. But she's been sitting in jail for the past year, and she's being held to account as we speak. So that's my opinion on that. We're going to listen to a little bit of this interrogation, and then I'm just going to fast forward to the end. Tomorrow, we'll get into, I'll give you, tell you guys what's going on in the trial. We might live stream some of it. But it's been interesting so far. I hate that that happened to the mom, because obviously that's a nightmare. And nothing is worse than being triggered by having to go and answer and go and talk to someone who's been rude to your kids. That's a nightmare.
Where were the other kids? Because I know the kids had been over there prior to her coming over.
Yeah,
Or
they were right by where the fence is, and then there's a sidewalk.
Sitting over there
They were
cursing
right
at the
beyond
kid.
that sidewalk, inside where it's supposed to be no trespassing.
Okay, so they were outside of the fence while she was banging on the door?
No idea.
Oh, you're not sure?
I have no idea.
Okay.
You asked me when the kids were there earlier.
Right.
So, the kids finally, I went inside. I figured they left.
So you didn't know who else was out there at that time? Okay. So you went to the kitchen and she was still pounding on the door and yelling. And I know we've kind of gone over this a lot, but I want to make sure now we're getting more like in order of things, because the first time we talked, it was kind of just like it all came out all at once. And now that you've had a little bit of time to kind of think about things that happened again and try to get it in a good order that things happen, because it's very important to be able to say, okay, this happened first, this will happen next, so that we don't get them confused or anything. Okay. So after that initial silence where, well, I wouldn't say silence, but it got quiet, you were washing your hands in the bathroom, and then the pounding and the yelling started again, and you went to the kitchen. What were you doing in the kitchen?
I was looking for my phone.
Okay.
So I put my phone down somewhere and I started panicking. I started searching for the phone, and then she just kept banging and banging and banging. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Get out of here. And I'm like, I have nowhere to go. I mean, I was in the kitchen. There's the sliders, and the sliders are always locked. And just that one door, so there's no escape.
Okay.
I couldn't leave. I couldn't get out of there. I was like, Jesus Christ. And she was pounding so hard, the mirror on my wall was shaking.
Okay. So that first, I'm sorry to go back, but that first time that she pounds on the door, how long do you think that lasted before there was kind of the silence? I know you said she hit the door, you said, who's there? And that what was it said?
Probably 5-10 seconds she was pounding the first time.
Okay. And then when it started again, how long, and I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit, but we'll kind of come back. When she started pounding on the door again and saying all that stuff to the point where you fired the gun, how long do you think that lasted?
2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes.
I don't know. Just everything's kind of, it was a while. I mean, it was a while. I kept thinking, okay, you guys are going to show up, because I had called earlier and no one was coming. I'm like, shit, couldn't find my phone. And she was just banging and banging, screaming at me, telling me, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm like, she's really going to kill me this time. That's all I kept thinking. She's literally going to come in this house and kill me.
Okay. When did you find your phone? At what point?
After I shot her. I just started searching the house frantically until I found it. And I wanted to make sure that I called and said, I shot, because I heard her go, ugh.
So you were trying to find your phone. You couldn't find your phone, but you found your gun. You used your gun, and lo and behold, you can find your phone now because you wanted to make sure that you called. What?
Where was your phone?
I think it was in my computer room.
In the computer room? Okay.
She said that she'd already called the police. They were already on the way.
Let me just understand this a little better, because I'm not really sure. So the woman that got shot, what is her name?
AJ.
AJ, right? It's AJ. Yeah. Okay, and how long have you known her?
I really didn't know her. I just, she was a neighbor across the street.
Okay, so how long has she been a neighbor across the street from you? Help me understand that.
A year and a half, 2 years.
Okay, year and a half and 2 years. And in that year and a half and 2 years, how many times have you guys been able to talk?
We've never talked. It's more like screaming.
No, okay, all right. So maybe better would we communicate. How many times have you guys been able to communicate in that year and a half or 2 years?
2-3 times.
2 or 3 times. And in those 2 or 3 times over a year and a half and 2 years, what were you guys screaming about? What were you guys communicating about?
She would take her dog and walk it on my sidewalk to make sure it's shit on the sidewalk. And
Yeah.
like, oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Of all the places you can walk and take your animal, you're going to come here. And
Sure.
She said, it's the only place my dog would go to the bathroom.
Okay. So
no, I don't think so.
okay, so you guys would have a disagreement regarding that, some screaming regarding the dog pooping where it shouldn't. What else would you guys communicate about in that 2 or 3 times?
Then one time she was talking to the neighbors and she said, oh, that bitch over there is crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to, sorry. I walked over, I said, what is your problem? And she just went on a tirade. I have never heard someone scream like this woman. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, she exploded.
And I mean, if she says, well, the sidewalk doesn't have anything to do with anything, because sidewalk may not even belong to, it doesn't belong, sidewalks belong typically to, if you live in a private neighborhood, then it belongs to the neighborhood. But if you are on just a regular street with no HOA, that's typically the city. I mean, it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of another, but pooping on a sidewalk is not a reason.
And I'm like, oh,
She's
shit. How long ago
nuts.
was that?
Something's wrong with
Like
her.
2 months ago.
2 months.
2-3 months ago.
Karen.
And then she was saying I called her kids all kinds of names, and I'm like, no, I didn't. And the more I said no, the more irate she got. Finally, I'm like, you know what? Let me just back off, say yes, I'll apologize, and scurry away.
What kind of things was she saying that you called her kids?
That I called them racial slurs, that I called them slaves, and that's never happened. I mean, when she said, I'm like, why don't you stop already? Stop lying, you know? And I was like, enough. What? I did.
I think she really thought she was going to walk out of this interrogation. Wait till you see when they actually arrest her.
I did call them retards once because
I did call them retards once. Like, that was okay. Like, she was antagonizing these kids. She was antagonizing herself. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, she was definitely a Debbie Downer to the neighborhood, but she was driving her own self crazy. She has no one to blame for herself being in prison or going to prison but herself. This is her own fault.
I said, are you retarded? You can't read the sign.
Okay.
You know, how many times do we have to tell you you're trespassing? You know.
No, we've got the video. We have the police video of you telling the police officer you called them retards. You didn't say, what are you, retarded? Who in their right mind talks to children that way and says, are you retarded? She's
all
nuts.
These kids nowadays, they have tablets and phones and stuff. Are you, I mean, you can tell us the truth. I mean, it's just us in here. I think we were looking at different videos and people were telling us about, we spoke to everybody in the neighborhood separately. Was there other times when you got frustrated or something with these kids and you've said something else that we're not talking about? I mean, have you said other words to them or something about middle fingers or something? Tell me about that.
It wasn't at the kids, it was at the gentleman.
Who's the gentleman?
I only know him by his name, Sapito.
So, okay.
So he's a guy, he gets all the kids together, so they're screaming and yelling and they're doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, stop already. And I asked him, I said, please stop. I don't like the yelling. I just, I'm sorry, going to break down.
No, take your time. What is the crazy stuff that Sapito has these kids doing? Tell me about that.
He used to ride a four-wheeler. And he would come around the house. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Then he'd have the kids on the back, no helmets, no nothing. And I'm like, stop already. The one time I went out there, he almost hit me. He's like, missed you. Jesus Christ, really? And I'm like, I just can't deal with it. I have
nothing that she's saying justifies shooting through a door. Like, there's nothing that she's saying that is going to make them not arrest her right now. It's like, ma'am, you're just digging your own, like, you're just giving them everything they need to know. Which is why she's not going to go home and her cats are going to be in the apartment and she'll be evicted. And she's 1 year later, she's lost a considerable amount of weight. You wait till you see what she looks like.
an injury right now. I have aneurysm on my left kidney artery. If he hit me, he'd have killed me.
So was it on last Friday that you were kind of giving him the middle finger then? Is that what I was understanding?
I may have given him the middle finger because they're just out there and I took a picture and he's like, oh, go take more pictures. I'm like, because.
What other kind of crazy things is he having these kids do? Is it something where
he would have them exercise and scream and yell, and the kids are like, we're tired.
He would have them exercise. It's like, ma'am, what are you talking about?
Stop, we're tired.
Is he like a coach or do they play sports
I don't
or
know.
something?
I have no idea. And he's like, come on, you weenies, get moving. And the kids are like, no, we want to stop. He's like, you can't stop.
Is he the father of one of those kids that live?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
I don't know who he is. I just know that. And I asked him, I said, please. I said, one of my friends was murdered when I was very young. And she screamed. She was bound and gagged. And the guy thought he killed her. And she screamed. And so every time those little kids scream, I keep thinking of my friend Elizabeth.
Tell me about that. Whoa.
So, and I asked him, I said, Sapito, please, these kids screaming like this, it's triggering me. I don't want to hear this, And he's like, you're full of shit. You're a liar. You're this, you're that. I'm like, really? I'm like, why would I tell the story and it's not true?
I know this is kind of not really related to what we're talking about, but what happened with your friend? Is that when you were very young or
14.
Oh my God.
So that guy came and he raped her and he beat her and he thought he killed her. And he bound her up. She was at Schulten Factory, the Old Spice Factory in New Jersey. And next to it was a children's playground. And he buried her there in a shallow grave. And she wasn't dead. So when the coroner said that there was all dirt in her lungs because she kept screaming and screaming and screaming. So every time those little girls screamed, it just kind of, made me think of Elizabeth.
Have you ever been a victim of any violence?
Oh, yeah.
Describe that to me.
I was raped and beaten.
Did that happen here or in New Jersey?
In Jersey.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
Started when I was 4. It didn't stop until I was like 20.
Okay. And was New Jersey police or whatever able to help you out with that, give you justice or anything?
No.
Was that ever reported to law enforcement?
No, because I was starting to be killed.
Okay. So that was something that wasn't reported. And was this from a known family member or something? I worked special victims unit for years. Okay. So this was from a known family member. Have you ever been a victim of some kind of violence from a random person or something like that?
Yes.
Describe that to me.
I was dating a gentleman, a doctor up in Michigan.
Uh-huh.
And we were going to, move forward with the relationship and everything. And he got super drunk one night and he started beating me.
Uh-huh.
He asked you, have you ever been a victim of violence from a random person, a stranger? That's not a random person or a stranger. That's someone you're in a relationship with.
So that sounds like domestic violence. Someone else that
Exactly.
you were.
Like, ma'am, can you answer the question? Answer the question, not be ready to give us an answer.
Associated with, and they did something bad to you. Was that, were you able to report that to New Jersey or whatever it may be? Were they able to arrest that man?
Up in Michigan.
Michigan. Were they able to arrest him for anything?
I never said anything. I was so embarrassed.
So you never said, look, whatever. Moving right along.
Sure, that's common.
I'm an adult. I should know. I mean, as soon as he finished.
So you're an adult and you should know. Is that what she just said? Is that what she just said? She's an adult. So you're an adult. You can't. So you've been through a lot, and you've been able to make it this far through all of the adversity. You've got kids playing with roller skates and iPads outside, and this is who you decide to take all of your anger out. All of everything that's happened in your journey of life. Now, all of a sudden, you're selling insurance on the phone, and now you decide it's time for justice.
Finished and passed out. I left.
Okay.
I just got out of the situation. Never spoke to him again.
Have you ever been a victim of anything like robbery or anything like that before?
In Jersey, yes.
Okay. Were you like robbed like at a store, a gas station, or describe that to me?
We were selling tools out of the back of my car for some company, and we stopped at a stop sign. It was myself and 2 other girls who were doing it with me, and they entered the car and just took everything.
Who's they? Who did that to you?
I can't remember. It was a bunch of guys.
Okay.
That were in the neighborhood.
You were able to get them reported, and they were able to...
We reported it, but they never found them.
Okay. Did those guys ever harass you ever again or anything like that?
No, because it wasn't where I lived.
Okay. Have you ever been a victim of violence at your home that wasn't someone you knew, a random person coming and hurting you or something like that?
No.
Okay. Anyone's ever broken into your house before in New Jersey or in Michigan or in Florida or anything like that?
They broke into the house when we lived in Pompton Plains.
Where's that? Is that in New Jersey?
Yeah, this is up in Jersey.
And when you said they broke into, describe that to me. What happened?
It was a bunch of young kids that my brother knew. And he had a dirt bike and everything. So they stole his dirt bike and they stole some other stuff.
Sure. And were you home when that happened?
I believe so.
Okay. When you say you believe so, did they like sneak in the night and they went in the garage?
It was in the end of the night and they went out into the shed.
They went out into the shed. Okay. Okay. Scott, I'm trying to understand. I know what happened to you this time. We just talked about that. I'm saying, has anything like this ever happened to you before where someone was trying to break into the house and hurt you or something?
No, not like this.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that's ever happened to you before. I just wanted to see if there was a similar experience. We talked about unreported sexual abuse. We talked about domestic violence. We talked about whenever you were robbed once of something by some men. And then there was something stolen out of a shed. Is that right in New Jersey? Yes. Okay. But then we're talking about what happened there today. And this woman that that she passed away. You said that you guys have yelled at each other 3 or 4 times in about a year and a half to 2 years. Is that right?
Yes.
And the last time she yelled at you a lot. Did you ever, I worked as a patrol deputy for years before becoming a detective. Did you guys ever get in like a fight in the street or anything like that? No, nothing like that.
You gotta be kidding me.
I'm
sorry.
I gotta ask, because I don't know you that well.
No.
Did she ever brandish a weapon or anything like that or something?
The only thing she ever did is she picked up the no trespassing sign and threw it at me and hit me.
Okay. And I know that the police came out a lot of times. Did the police ever come out for that time when she threw the sign?
Yeah, and then everybody in the neighborhood said, "Oh, we didn't see anything."
Okay.
So it was a he said, she said. So they said they couldn't charge anything.
Sure.
I'm like, all right.
And obviously you have a firearm. I haven't had a chance to ask you about this. Now, is that a gun that you've had for years? You just had it for a couple of weeks? Help me understand that.
No, over a year.
Okay, over a year. And where do you normally keep that secured in the house?
That's usually next. It was in a garbage can next to my bed.
Okay. And is it like?
Now that was the Remington that you're talking about that you got over a year ago?
Yes.
Okay, so when we were at the house, there was the other one, the 22 was a Ruger. How long have you had that firearm?
A few months.
Just a few months?
Yeah, not very long. And the only reason I did it is because it was so expensive to shoot the Remington.
Oh, with the 380
so
rounds?
The 380, yeah, way more expensive. So I got the little plinker, just target practice and stuff like that.
Are you experienced with firearms? You got 2 guns, and it sounds like you have the little plinker, and you know about the price of ammo. Are you well versed with them?
I used to be terrified of firearms.
Uh-huh.
And then a friend said, you really can't defend yourself. He said you should think about getting a gun.
Okay.
So,
when did you first get a gun? Was it or did you have other guns historically?
No, I never did.
Okay.
I first bought a 9mm, but it was just way too much gun for me, so I sold it.
Uh-huh.
And then I got the little 380.
Okay. And did you go to any kind of training for those using guns, like going to the range, or tell me about that?
I went to the range, watched videos, all the other stuff, just self-educating, and I was going to go take a permit to carry course.
Sure.
And I didn't get around to it.
Yeah. Okay. So you were self-training yourself. You had plans to do that in the future, but it didn't come to that. So thank you for helping me understand that. And describe to me, AJ. You've only had these arguments with her a few times, but what I'm confused about is that we're talking about her banging on it 3 times, and then there's a pause, and there's everything else you just described in Detective Stiff. And you said that this was the time that she was going to come and kill you. That's confusing to me because it sounds like you guys really didn't have any other times that she was going to come and kill you.
No, she was saying she's going to kill me. I mean, she was verbalizing it. She was saying, "I'm going to kill you."
Okay.
That's how. It's not like this is the time she's going to come and kill me.
So I'm trying to get into your mind, and I'm trying to be brought to that moment to why you believe that. And we were talking. You were in the bathroom, then you were in the kitchen. I mean, I know that she's saying something, and you're inside your house, and she's on the other side of that wall and that door. Were you able to ever see her to see if she had anything in her hands?
There's no people or anything.
There's no people. Thanks. Okay. Were you able to look through a window or anything to see if she had anything in her hands or anything? Okay. So you don't know if what's going on, but you can hear her voice.
Yes.
And you said that she's hitting the wall hard enough that was it the door?
The mirror.
That the mirror is moving.
Yes.
And she's hitting the door.
She's hitting the door.
Okay. There's no peephole or anything like that. You don't know who all's out there, but you can hear her voice.
Yes.
Okay. What made you shoot that spot on the door? It sounds like you had some experience with the gun. So bring me to that moment where what happened?
I grabbed the gun. I was shaking like a leaf, and the more she pounded, the more she screamed. I was like, "Stop, stop, stop, go away, move away." She wouldn't move away. Finally, "I'm going to kill you." And that was the last time, and I just fired the weapon.
Okay. Was there a spot you picked or something like that?
I just kind of, there was the door. I knew she was out the door. Shot.
So since the last time you and I talked, I went in the house. We, did the stuff inside the house as far as photographing, looking at where everything is at related to where the door is. And you said you had shot from the kitchen. So when you come in, it's
kitchen
like a
table.
kitchen table.
The table that's there, the 2 seats with the table.
Okay.
That's where I shot from.
That's where you shot from. Okay. Like right next to it?
Yes.
Or like further back?
It was. I remember the table being there.
Okay. How were you holding the gun when you fired it?
Like
With
that.
2 hands?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you were initially in the kitchen when Well, you went to the restroom and then you were in the kitchen looking for your phone while she was pounding on the door. And you said that you believe it was between 2 and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Was that total time from when the first pounding started to the time that you fired the shot, 2 to 5 minutes? Or do you think it was shorter time than that or longer?
To me, it seemed like 2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes
More,
total.
Well, by the time I shot the weapon, at least 5 minutes.
Okay. Did she ever try to open that glass sliding door or open the door handle or anything like that? Or was it just the pounding?
I just remember her pounding and pounding and pounding.
Okay. So you said that you kept the firearm in the trash can in the bedroom. So at some point, did you go?
Yes.
So you thought about it and said, I might need this, or?
Absolutely. I mean, I got terrified. I mean, I was so terrified she was going to come in and kill me.
Okay. So you left the kitchen area?
Yes.
And that's when you went to your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. Where was the other gun at that time? Do you know?
I thought it was right there.
The Ruger?
I thought the Ruger was right there.
I mean, we found, yeah, it was, but you said that you used the 380, right?
Yeah.
When you fired the gun? Okay. Is there any reason why you chose that gun aside the other one? They were both loaded, right?
They were both loaded. I was just the one that picked up.
Okay. Did you handle the other gun at all?
I don't remember. Honest to God, don't remember.
Okay. Because the reason I asked is when we went in there, the 22 was actually on top of the 380. So, I'm just trying to figure out how it is that you went in there, took the 380, fired the 380, went back, and you would have put it back in there, but then the other gun was on top of it. So I'm just trying to figure out if maybe, you're just moving stuff around after things happened or something fell. I'm just trying to understand.
It may have fallen off the bed. I don't know. I just remember looking for my phone, and I just remember I put the gun back in. So, there's all kinds of papers in there, so it could have flip-flopped.
Is that an actual, do you use it for trash or those important papers that were in there?
Those were papers that I keep.
Okay. All right. So you said it was about, let me ask you this, and maybe this can kind of help us get a better time frame. From the time that you called 911, these kids are on my property again, they're yelling, what happened that first 911 call? That time that you hung up with 911, how long before she showed up and she was pounding on the door after you hung up?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So about 10 minutes after you disconnected and they said, hey, we have deputies on the way. 10 minutes after that is when she started pounding on your door. Okay. And you say anywhere, you believe from 2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there, and I just want to be clear, 2 to 5 minutes from the first time she pounded to the time where you felt in danger enough to pull the trigger?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many times, I know this is, how many times do you think she was hitting your door during that time frame that you believe is about 2 to 5 minutes?
She just kept pounding it. Just kept pounding it and pounding it.
So just
She was
more
screaming.
than 5, more than 50?
God, it had to be, I don't know. I can't even speculate. I just remember her pounding and pounding and screaming and yelling.
Okay. And did you call 911 immediately after?
As soon as I found my phone.
Okay. How much time do you think after you fired the shot?
A few seconds.
So within a
I'd say
minute?
within a
And you
minute, yes.
immediately called 911?
Yes.
Did you call anyone else before?
No.
Did you call anyone else after?
No, I don't think so because you guys were here. I mean, you guys came right away.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
What's with the racial statements that everyone's saying that you made? I mean, have you ever used the N-word and they're using it against you? Have you said it in passing or something?
I have no idea. But it could have been I was speaking Hungarian and instead of English.
So you're native Hungarian?
My father was Hungarian, my mother was Polish.
She needs to stop lying there. I mean, I'm sorry. I was trying to not interrupt, but you don't know whether you've said the N-word or not. I mean, it's either in your vocabulary or it's not. And you either use it against the kids or you don't. And the fact that said I was speaking. I might have been speaking. This is not a lady who, I mean, look, I'm not saying she's not bilingual, but there are people who are very fluid. They are, you know, m- you may or may not know someone like this. My mother and my father were like this. They could start a sentence in Creole. My parents are from Haiti. They could start in Creole. They could finish it up in French, and somewhere in the middle was a little bit of English, and that was just it. You know what I mean? It's very fluid. Some people, it could be Franglish. It could be Cray Frangs ish. Okay, it could be Spanglish. That does happen. But are you telling me that you don't know if you said the N word and you actually said in a police interrogation, I might have been speaking Hungarian? Baby, stop. Just stop it. Stop, stop, stop. Stop it right now. That
We
was
spoke
stupid.
mainly Hungarian in the household.
Okay. And is there,
Yeah, but
have
you
you ever
live
spoken
alone.
Hungarian to these?
You live alone. You live alone, and you're almost 60 years old, ma'am. The parents are gone. You don't live with them. You are not speaking Hungarian to anybody in the neighborhood. You've called the kids the N-word. You told them to fuck off. You called them slaves. You called them all kinds of things, ma'am. You need to stop it. You need to really stop. You need to stop.
Kids or anything like that?
Yeah, and they looked at me and said, "Stop making up your language." I said, "Okay."
So let me ask you real quick. You know that we had your phone, right? Okay, so
They
a
should
judge
speak
actually
some
signed an order
Hungarian
to
to us
allow us
right
to go
now.
into the phone and look over certain things that would assist in trying to identify the time frames of things that happened. And during the interviews where we were out there talking to other people who live in the neighborhood, they told us that you've there's been times where you go out and either create video, like record with videos or take photographs of what the kids are doing in your area out there. So you know how anybody can have a phone or a device that's recording. So you would imagine, I'm sure the kids have phones out in the neighborhood. A lot of them have tablets that record video. So when we talk to these people and we talk to them, they tell us something, but we have to kind of verify that. So we ask them the same questions. Do you have any video, audio, anything that would document as what you're saying is true? So when he's asking you questions like that, sometimes we have to ask questions that we already know the answers to. And it's not to try to trick someone. It's just to try to see how credible they are and how reliable their statements are. So when we ask them something that we already know the answer to, and if they answer us and it matches up, then some of the stuff that we're still trying to learn and put the pieces together to, we have more credibility and believe in that. Again, he was referring to some of the racial statements that have been alleged. Where does that come from? And like, is there something more? Like, did something happen in the past, or is that how you were raised, or is it just something because these kids are just always like
When I was 12 years
antagonizing
old,
you?
they're forever antagonizing me. When I was 12 years old, some girl in middle school thought I was some other girl. And it came down to where I was stuck in a phone booth and at least 35 other people were around on bikes. And so they ended up calling the police and he had to disperse the crowd.
I'm sorry. She tells these stories and it's like, wait a second, what? So you had a problem with another girl and you got scared. So you were out probably throwing rocks, hiding hands, and homegirl cornered you over in a good old fashioned phone booth. Did you think you were going to make it out like Superman? Remember Superman used to go run into the phone booth to go change his clothes to go fight crime? So you ran up, they got you hemmed up in a phone booth. And then who called did you have a dime so you could call the police and have them come? And you said 35 kids were outside the phone booth. Like, if I'm telling you, you gotta be something pretty annoying for the kids to corner you in a phone booth and have 35 kids from the neighborhood surround the phone booth in New Jersey and they didn't bust the windows out. They didn't come get you out that phone booth. You got to be kidding me. So they let you get into a phone booth and they just stood outside taunting you? Is that what you're saying? I don't believe that at all. That's not Of all the stories, that's the least believable. So 35 kids were surrounding a phone booth and they didn't destroy the phone booth to get you up out of there. I don't believe that. That's a fake story. That is a fake story.
Okay. And what ended up happening then? I mean, anything?
I had to leave school early every day. I couldn't be around. I couldn't do any extracurricular activities. I just had to be very careful at school.
Oh, wow.
And so it's just, it was craziness.
So I'm sorry, how did that, I mean, you're kind of describing it, I can take a guess, but I mean, how did that make you feel towards your classmates? Did you have friends at that school?
Yes.
Is this a therapy
Okay.
session
So you
or
had
is this
people
an
that you could confide
interrogation?
to and be friends with.
Mhm.
But you said that you had to be escorted to the bus or something like that?
No, I left 5 minutes early every day.
You had to leave early every day. Okay. Are you,
Wow,
and how old were you when that happened?
she got her Karening honest. She said she had to leave school 5 minutes early every day because the kids.
12. And I mean, it sounds like there's been some issues that, I mean, is that something that's caused problems with you for the rest of your life?
She hates kids.
No, that doesn't.
No, it does. You hate kids.
Okay. So we're just trying to
You
figure
hate-
out where some of
you hate
these,
young people.
we heard that you said the F word and the B word. These are what
Definitely dropped F-bombs.
Okay. And what are you saying the F word to?
Pick your fucking shit up.
Referring to stuff on the ground or something? And when we say the B word, what are you referring to that? Who are you talking to? What are you saying when you use that language?
B word.
Yeah, which I'm assuming is bitch, but I don't really know.
Okay.
Have you said that word to them?
Or is it bastard? Possibly bastard?
Could have been either one.
Yeah.
Are those words that you've used when you're outside around the kids or something like that?
I guess if they were really annoying me, I may have let one slip.
Okay. And how would they really annoy you? Like just
Screaming. They would scream.
The screaming, and that would maybe let one slip. Okay.
But the girls would do something so stupid. I've never seen anything like this before. They would go face to face with one another and see who could scream louder.
Yeah.
5 feet outside my door.
That's a lie.
How are you doing?
What kids?
I'm like, why?
Hey,
Let me
let's
see you
play a
scream back.
game. Let's play a game. Let's go. Let's be like nose to nose and let's see who can scream the loudest. That's another lie. That's a lie. That's a lie, ma'am.
Over to your house.
Sure. Okay. So Detective Stith has been talking to you about the timeline, okay? And some of the work we've done. Now, this is a picture that I drew. I'm not an artist at all, but when I tell you some of the work we've done, we spoke to all the people over. This is your house, by the way. Okay, this is we'll put an S for you. We spoke to everybody in these buildings. We spoke to them all in these buildings, and we talked to anybody that had cameras that would see different areas. These cameras.
I forget her name, but you know who I'm talking about. She's on Instagram and she stands up at the dry erase board and she's like, okay, this is my business. And then this is you. And then if you go over here and then do this and do that, you know who I'm talking about? She's so funny. And she's like, it's like, what kind of a diagram are you, or did you make it, Rashonda? Yes, thank you. She is so funny when she stands up at that damn dry erase board. Oh my God, I love her. Wait, hold on. Let me fix this a little bit. So he's doing an old diagram. Okay. He's probably showing her the diagram exactly where she fucked up. And where you fucked up was you went to that trash can where you keep your guns and you got with Miss Owens in a way that you can't take it back now, sis. I mean, you fucked up. He's getting ready to show her the you fucked up diagram.
They hear things. We're able to hear audio. We're able to hear things like that. And everyone that we interviewed, I pretty much got the same, Detective Stith, I think we all got the same statement from every single.
We went to this neighbor and we went to that neighbor and then we went to another neighbor and see, we're just like, I mean, it's not adding up, Susan. Susan, it's not adding up.
Person we interviewed. We lined up, well, we didn't line them up. These people were interviewed in different locations. Some of them were interviewed in different buildings in different places. I interviewed them at different houses, and all these people provided me similar statements, okay? No one that provided these, now these people could hear her talking, Okay, because she was talking loudly. You said that you could hear it through the wall, and I can agree with that. Okay. She made a statement, something to the effect of, why'd you take my kid's iPad? Okay, somebody heard her say that.
I never touched an iPad. I never saw the iPad. I don't know what this iPad is about.
A tablet or something like that?
Again, no tablet, no iPad, no electronics at all. It was never there, or at least I never saw it.
Okay.
So I have no idea.
Was she, maybe she's wrong, but was she asking you about a tablet or accusing you of something with a tablet or an iPad? I don't know if it's an iPad or a tablet. She could have?
She could have.
Okay, you seem unsure of some of the stuff she's saying through the door. Did she say, you're not really sure if she said that?
She could have said it during her rants.
Okay. She's saying these things. The thing is everything that we've learned so far, I have not learned of her ever saying to you that she wanted to get into the house. It sounded more like she wanted to talk to you outside of the house.
How do you want to talk to outside the house when you're banging and screaming?
Yeah.
That's not reasonable.
One of the people said that she said, come outside.
That's not, I'm sorry.
Come
That's
out.
not what?
It's not reasonable and prudent. I mean, you just don't, bang and expect someone to come out. Yeah, I think I'll come outside so you can,
Well, I know.
Seriously.
What she's learned, what I'm learning, what these people said is that she was saying to come outside. She wanted to confront you about something. She wanted you to come outside. Do you remember her making statements and asking you to come out there and talk to her?
Honestly, don't recall.
Okay, so you don't remember that, and you seem unsure about some of the statements she made about the tablet. No one that we've interviewed so far has made any statements about her saying that she wanted to kill you.
That's what I heard.
Okay. You said you were so in fear and you're shaking. Is your memory affected regarding this incident in some way?
I just remember being terrified that she was banging and screaming, and I just remember hearing her say, "I'm going to kill you." Her son, early in the night, before I called the police, I don't know how old he is, but he said, "I'm going to make sure you get killed tonight."
Which son? She has two sons.
I know.
Really? He said,
He was
yeah.
one of her sons.
Okay.
But he
I
was there.
doubt
He's
it.
like, I'm gonna make sure you get killed. I'm gonna make sure that you know. And I'm like, what the hell is going
Has
on?
this person ever shown you a weapon or anything like that?
Wait, hold on. I forgot to tell. I forgot. So in all of that were the mom, you forgot to mention that very important fact. So you're saying that the mom was banging on your door, but you don't think it was important to mention that prior to that you had something with the son and he threatened you? Like she's just conveniently like, oh yeah. And then he said, I'm gonna kill you tonight. Yeah. Yeah, he said that.
No.
She's just like
the
coming
kid
up
said
with
it, and then all of a sudden his mom's coming over and she's banging and screaming. And
now I asked you this earlier, you said you can't see out there, but you've only seen her a few times.
Mhm.
What means does she have to harm you through the wall?
Like I said, she was banging so much, everything was shaking and moving.
Now that house,
Which I couldn't believe because it's a cement block house.
That was my next question. So it's a cement block house, and the door, the deadbolt was activated, right?
The deadbolt was activated, right? And you just didn't have the chain lock?
I was going to say, I remember I didn't have the chain. I'm not quite sure if I had the deadbolt on or not.
Okay. I believe the last time we talked, you said you had the deadbolt, but you didn't want to get back close to the door to do the chain, is from what I recall. And you said you had the extra long deadbolt just installed. Recently?
Charles did it.
Okay, Charles.
So that's what the deadbolt's activated, the door's closed, it's a block house. I'm just trying to understand what made you so in fear of this woman if you have these things between you.
When we had spoken previously on the other time she screamed at me and I finally acquiesced. I said, whatever you want, I'm so sorry. She followed me a foot behind me up until I went into the house. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, she gave me the creeps.
What happened during that incident where she followed you? What was the conversation?
She said, oh, you called my kids, I can't remember, I think a nigger and a slave or something stupid like that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize. And I finally said, I'm going to leave this alone. I don't need, to get killed in the street.
Did she tell you if she had recordings of you saying that?
I have no
or like
idea.
one of the kids?
I have no idea.
But you apologized and she continued to follow you anyway?
Yeah, she followed me anyway.
How far did she follow you?
Like right up to where I go in by the wood.
By the fence?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened after that?
She finally just went away.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
That was like a month or two ago.
Okay.
I cannot with
And
her.
Was that an incident dealing with, she had the dog and the kids were over there? No, that was something different? Okay. And I think that was.
I would be like, bitch, you wish.
April? Does that sound right?
They don't fucking. What?
You had called because, again, the kids were over there, the dog was over there. Does that sound about right? Okay, but that was a different incident than what you're talking about. Okay. And where were you at when you had that conversation where she started following you? Where were you?
I was in the street.
Okay. Like by the mailboxes or?
No, I was close to her driveway.
Close to her driveway, okay. Yeah. All right. Did she make any threats of physical violence to you then?
So the time she's talking, trust me, the time she's talking about with AJ, we saw that video. This is the time I think that she's talking about when the private property sign, and she had the sign, and I don't know, I guess it ended up in AJ's yard. AJ tossed it. She said it hit her. She called the police, and then the neighbors were like, it didn't happen like that. So yeah, police were called. Yeah, we saw, if you slide back, we watched all of those. We had snippets of all the dash cams. We were watching the law and crime, what Law and Crime put together like a day or two ago regarding this matter. So yeah, she's been calling the police. I think they said she'd called at least a dozen times.
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
Okay.
She was following you, and that made you feel creepy, right? Or creeped you out, I think is the word you said.
Yeah.
Okay, but there wasn't any threats of physical violence then. And you said,
why would you, if the conversation is over, why would you still pursue someone?
Well, maybe it wasn't over for her.
Still saying things?
Just because you're walking away and it's over for you, clearly it wasn't over for her. Just because you're walking away doesn't make it over. Like, bitch, I'm still talking to you. You can walk away if you want to, but I'm still talking. So I'm gonna say what I gotta say. So maybe that's how it was going down. You can't, some people, you get them started and it's gonna be it's work to slow them down. Like Miss Owens may have been like, look, you know what I'm saying? She got 4 kids. I don't know what the situation was at the house, but yeah, you get me started, bitch. I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to talk to you. Like the fact that I got to cross this street and deal with you, yeah, we gonna have a nice conversation. And just because you want to walk away and make it over, don't mean it's like I want to finish what I got to say.
No, she just followed me, and I just felt like, that.
No, sis, I'm still talking to you. Turn around, give me my respect. You came out here to my side of the street.
At any point in time, she could knock me down and do something. And I was like, oh my God. And I just.
Like, why are you so worried about somebody putting hands on you? If you would leave people alone, you wouldn't have to be so worried about being touched. That's the problem. You're worried about being touched because that mouth is out of control. People don't normally try to go for people if you're in check. You're out of order. That's why you're so scared.
I didn't want to tangle with her anymore.
And was it only her kid that you called a slave, or was there other kids in the neighborhood?
I never called anyone a slave.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said sorry for it.
I said I'm sorry for it because I didn't know how else to diffuse the situation.
Okay.
Girl, stop.
Okay, so you told her that you did say that, but you're saying that you were saying it to diffuse the situation?
Yes. Absolutely.
So have you ever called any of those kids?
Never called them a slave. Never.
Never said anything about this not being an underground railroad?
An Underground Railroad comment or something like that was mentioned?
No.
We did so many interviews.
Jesus Christ, no.
There was a statement like that made.
All right, that's new to me. I mean, it's completely new to me. I don't know where the hell that came from.
So,
Look, So she was digging, first of all, her reeds were tired. She was scraping the bottom of the barrel of things, like she's picking textbook how to trigger a black person. In 2024, she's got the most tired reads ever. I mean, I know that some of that is still triggering for people, but at the end of the day, it's like, sis, I honestly, I would be like, you got to be kidding me. Like, your reads are the worst, okay? Most kids wouldn't even, I'm sure the kids were probably laughing at her. That's probably what made her mad, because she thought that that was from the textbook of how to make the black kids mad. And they were, Mom, she called us a slave. Like, what in the world? She's a nut job. All she was doing was trying to pick provocative things to say to piss people off. It would piss me off to think that you thought I would be triggered to be pissed off by this. But what would really make me mad is that you're throwing my kid's stuff around, that you're collecting my kid's stuff, you're filming my kid. All that would make me lose my mind on you. But as far as like her tired reads to the kids were laughing at her. They were calling her Karen. She was more bothered by the kids than the kids were. The kids just wanted to play.
So, Susan, I'm looking at this from the outside here, and this really is not adding up to me. You used the word reasonable and prudent earlier. That's an interesting series of words to use. That's like a series of words that we use as law enforcement officers when we try to look at things. And there's a big jump here that you're making logically that I can't seem to make the jump. I'm having a really hard time getting there. You've known this woman.
You use deadly force on some silly stuff. You decided that you could use deadly force and not give the person any warning to be able to defend someone who's coming to talk to you, adult to adult, woman to woman, a woman who's coming to confront you about you talking aggressively to her child, but you don't even have the guts to have a conversation with her as two grown adults. This lady has come to your home to knock on the door, and you don't answer the door and you shoot through the door. It's not adding up. That doesn't add up.
For 1.5 to 2 years, your only communications were 2 to 3 times. The dog's pooping, and then there was another time where you called her, you said, I'm sorry about calling your kids some names, and she followed behind you. You thought that was creepy. She's never threatened you. She's never displayed a firearm towards you. She starts yelling on your patio area, banging hard on your door, which your door is locked. And then you're scared. Now you're saying that you're scared, which, okay, I can get to that. I can get to that point that you're scared. There's someone knocking on your door.
No, it wasn't knocking. It was pounding.
Pounding. There's someone pounding on your door. Right. There's someone pounding on your door. They're pounding on your door, and I can't get to the point where pounding on the door leads to you being hurt or killed. I can't get
because
that.
I thought she was going to break the door down. The door, you could see that it was well repaired and re-repaired and all that crap like that. So I never felt that door was secure.
You have an extended deadbolt, and you've never been in any kind of violent situation where someone's kicked in your door or like Kool-Aid Man through your entire wall. There has not been that situation. So I'm trying to do the reasonable and prudent. I'm trying to come into your shoes there, and I'm having a hard jump there because describe to me, AJ, what does she look like?
Tall black woman, heavy set,
Okay. Does she have a very muscular? You've only known her for 1.5 years. You only had so many communications. I mean, is she like a muscular person that's able to, like, I don't know, do extreme feats of strength? Does she weight train in her front yard? Help me understand this.
No, I don't.
That's what I'm trying. I'm having a hard time with this.
He's not being facetious. He's just trying to understand how we got from the point of someone
creepy. But to get to, she's gonna get through the wall is where I can't get there. I don't understand. What if, and I was thinking about this earlier, what if the police officer had already arrived and she is loud and she's still yelling, and now the officer's standing in front of the door and he does some knocks, but she's still on that darn patio yelling? and you're shooting, you can't see, there's no peephole, there's no window, there's nothing, and then you shoot. And what if the darn officer was on the other side of the door? You see what I mean? And obviously she's still running her mouth, she's still going, but you don't know what's on the other side of that door.
He would have introduced him.
I sure hope so. I mean, and that's what some of the issues are that I can't get there. And I don't understand
hello, ma'am.
entirely
Don't shoot.
what was
It's me,
going
the
on
police
in your
officer.
mind.
I mean, come on.
And I don't see how that is entire. Were you on alcohol or anything like? I gotta ask these questions. Were there anything in your mind that would impair yourself in your judgments?
I took Belgica earlier in the day.
What is that?
It's it was for my back.
Okay, is that a narcotic?
Yes.
I'm not a muscle relax. I'm guessing here.
No, it's a pain reliever.
Okay, it's a pain reliever.
Mhm.
And does that have like something on the bottle that it would?
It's a film.
Okay. Does that like don't use motor vehicles or something like that? What does it do to you? How does it make you feel?
It just makes me sleepy.
It's called, what is it called?
Belbuca.
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 Okay.
Does that have to do with your artery issue in your kidney?
No, I had a car wreck. So I had a fusion in my lower back. I'm sorry, fusion in my neck, and then laminectomy in my lower back.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got this thing that goes backwards. So I have some issues.
Okay.
And I have a torn rotator cuff.
Okay. And do you have issues with any kind of previous, from the car accident, I have to ask, a head injury which would impair your memory or affect your memory or anything like that?
I don't remember. I think I hit my head on the steering wheel from the accident.
Okay. Do you suffer time and spatial memory issues where you can't remember a certain amounts of time and things like that? And the reason that I asked that is you had indicated that this was somewhere between like 5 to 10 minutes or something. Am I getting that right, Detective Stiff? Okay. From the cameras that we've looked at in the area here, this incident did not last for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, from the people that we spoke to, there's aspects of this that I can agree about. She's talking loud. She's banging on that door. We're going to agree with that. But the actual number of knocks, you did 3 knocks, and then you said there was a pause.
I never said 3.
Well, you said bang, 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 and then she stopped, which I counted 3. Now, okay. If there was something different, you can tell me. I was remembering earlier. You said bang, bang, bang. There was 3. Then she stopped, and then she continued to, and then what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing has led me to believe as an investigator that it was like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay. Maybe it just seemed like it was longer.
Okay.
Probably because, the adrenaline rush and just getting so upset.
Sure. Whenever adrenaline comes in, it can make things seem like they stretch out. From some of the other statements, we've got some of the things that we've learned. It sounds more like there was 3 knocks and then there was 3 more and then she was shot. It sounds like this was very quick. It sounds like this was like within a span of less than 20 seconds is what I would say. Is it possible that your time is off on this?
It could be.
Okay.
Because to me, it felt like forever.
Okay.
So
if this is like what's being described as a 20-second, this is a brief encounter. It's a brief encounter with loud banging, with loud yelling. The statements that some of the statements that you're saying occurred, like I'm going to kill you, and those kind of threats. No one else has heard you. No one else has heard her make those statements.
Okay.
Okay. I'm worried that some of the prior experiences you've had in your life that we've talked about today, they are traumatic experience, sexual violence against you. When you were a kid, all those people coming and trying to get you, that there's something going on in your head. Are you not sure about some of the things we've talked about today regarding some of the things you're saying that you heard? Is it possible she never threatened you at all?
Oh, I swear to God, I thought she said, I'm going to kill you. I mean, that's why I just panicked. As soon as those words came out of her mouth, I was like, Jesus Christ, she's going to kill me.
Okay. And how did you imagine yourself being killed? Remembering that there's that block wall, that door, how was she going to be able to do that? What makes you think that she was able to do that?
She was still pounding, but that she could have come right through that glass wall. I mean, the glass door.
Well, we talked about pounding on the door. Did she ever pound on the glass wall? Was it a window or wall? Help me.
It's doors. It's sliders.
Glass sliding door.
Yeah.
She pound on that?
She may have. I don't know. Well, I kept thinking that she's going to gain entrance. She's going to kill me.
And that's why I asked you earlier if you recalled if she tried to. Was that door locked? The sliding glass door? Yeah. Was that safe? Do you have like anything?
I had I think there was a wood piece in there.
The slider.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't recall if she tried that door
I just remember lots of pounding.
Lots of pounding.
You know, just to me, it was just an enormous amount of pounding, screaming, yelling, and, you know, I felt like she was going to come through that door.
And I think Detective Pender touched on it. Like in your head, what, you know, during the panic, during all these thoughts, what did you feel that was going to happen?
And she's going to come in there and beat the shit out of me until I was dead.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I felt. I mean, I don't understand why she came over my house. If there was all these issues and problems, why didn't she just call somebody? You know, that's, to me, that's what you would do if you're normal. You know, and that's a normal thing to do. If something happens to me, I call the police. You know, like, okay, you know, the kids are being lying or she's banging and, you know, but when I couldn't find my phone and everything, I was just like, shit. You know, I felt she was going to kill me.
Okay, so during that time, you had hung up with 911. You still estimate approximately 10 minutes before the banging started.
Yes.
And then you're saying anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes or longer that the banging and the yelling lasted. However, as Detective Pender mentioned, we've reviewed video. We've talked to multiple people out there who all kind of give the similar. I mean, everybody's perspective is different, and that's why I asked you this same question a couple of times, because people's perspectives, we could be both looking at the same thing, and later on you ask us the same question, we have different reactions, different answers, because we focus on different things, we remember different things. That's why everybody's unique, and that's just the way that. But to be that similar in some of the specifics of what we're really looking at, we're talking about a very tight, a much more tighter time frame of this incident that happened at your front door before that shot was fired. So is that possible? Is that feasible that it was a shorter time frame?
To me, it felt. I mean, I'm giving you what I felt and what I thought it was.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
Now that you're out of the moment, I mean, do you think that she could somehow get through that wall now that you're out, now that you're not in the house anymore, and that
I still feel that fear. I just still feel she was coming at me. I'm sorry. It's what I feel.
Okay.
I just, you know, it's been playing in my head over and over again, and I just kept thinking of that and how terrified I was.
Was your goal to shoot and kill her?
No.
What was your goal?
To shoot and hopefully, you know, she'd hear the shot and dissipate.
But you took aim at the door, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And the goal was to strike the door and to dissipate it. I'm having a really hard time making this jump here that this unarmed person on the other side of the wall is somehow gonna get into your house and kill you. I'm just really having a hard time getting there. I've been doing this job.
She messed up in this interrogation, which good. When she said, I thought she was going to kill me. Then she says, I thought she was going to beat the shit out of me. Then she says, no, she was knocking on the door. She's pretty much maintained the whole time she was knocking at the door. She didn't knock on the glass door, but I think she's realizing that she's, you know, what she's doing. And then now it's like, oh, well, maybe she knocked on the glass door. This rapid fire questioning, I mean, they are really going at her. Let me see what my speed is. My speed fast? No, this is normal speed. They are really rapid fire questioning her. And they have her literally in a corner. Can y'all hear me? Yes. Okay. Thank you to Petty Patty. Thank you. And all the member milestones. Thank you so much. We might make it through this. I mean, I know some of you guys probably it's getting late. But maybe we'll make it through the rest of this because it's not. I mean, it's worth the watch because she's done.
As a homicide investigator for several years, and I've seen houses that are made out of like pretty much paper mache. Okay, doors that are so thin, like walls of wood you could just push through. And
What he's saying right now, it's making me think of sticks and stones can break your bones, but names will never hurt you. Like, did she not learn that? Doesn't it all go back to the things we learned in kindergarten? Like, ma'am, sticks and stones, ma'am. Names, like, what do you, like, ma'am, what is wrong with you?
Block house with a solid door. I just don't. I've seen cases before where there is an angry spouse and I'm let me back in the house. You can't throw me out, and they'll kick the wall as hard as they can, and they're not getting in some of these doors open inwards, outwards. I don't know which way your door opens. Which way does it open? It opens outward?
I think it opens out.
Okay. So
it opens inwards.
It opens inwards. Okay. So they work on these doors and they're not even able to make entry, and they just give up. And I'm really having a hard time.
She didn't know if her door opens in or out. A lot of Florida doors open out. I don't know why, but your door clearly opens into your home. How do you not know that it opens out? Like she's ridiculous.
If you could go back in time, would you not do what you did? Would you take it back and I don't know, wait however long it took for the police to get there? I'm trying to understand that. Do you feel like you did something wrong here?
I did what I felt I had to. I honest to God thought she was going to kill me. I mean, that's all I felt. I just felt that terror. I mean, it was sheer terror.
So I went out to the house that morning, when I met you out there, and I tested the door. First of all, I looked at the door. We processed the door just to see what areas might have been touched by AJ. I looked at the door frame where it had been repaired. It looked like there was a type of putty or something used where the wood frame had been separated. I examined the deadbolt lock, the strike plates were in there pretty fastened, pretty securely. The bottom lock, just the doorknob lock. And even with the door closed, I stood on the outside. There were no indentations, no dents in the door anywhere that I could see. And I pounded on the door pretty hard. And that was with the door unlocked completely. There was no lock secured, and that door was very sturdy. I'm not trying to take away the fears of being scared and everything, because I think that is a legitimate, scary situation to be put in. But to justify to go from being scared to a point where you're taking deadly force on someone who's standing on the other side of the door and you don't even know where you're shooting at, that's a big jump. And I think that's where Detective Penders.
It could have been one of the kids standing there or something.
But it was her standing there. I mean, I heard her voice.
Sure, but some people don't talk. They're more quiet.
Regardless of that fact, as I was saying, to go from that, and I didn't even have any locks, and I'm pounding on it. And yes, there were our forensic technicians were inside looking, and yes, things were vibrating, but they also stated that the door didn't seem like it was going to move, and it barely budged, even with the door unlocked. So. And that's why it's important for us to go through these things to try to determine, to try to put ourselves in your position, in your mind at that time as much as possible. But to get that, help us try to understand that a little bit more, to get to that point from a fairly secure door. Because like he said, it's true. We've gone to some of these trailers where you could pretty much push the door open and
That's not your house. Your house is pretty secure. That landlord did a good job, I guess, keeping everything secure. It looked like everything was good. So you've never had a break in there before, right? Okay. There. There's the rod in the track. Did you have? I know that you still spoke to this woman 2 or 3 times before. Did you speak to her earlier that day on Friday? No. Okay, so you didn't talk to her earlier that day, Friday. There wasn't. Did you have any conflicts with anybody in particular on Friday at all?
Just the kids when it wasn't a conflict. I just told them, come on, stop trespassing, move along, take it. The kids kept putting things out. They had marbles by my truck. They put their skates out. I tripped over the skate one morning that I had to leave very early, and I'm like, crap. And I'm like,
they put marbles outside and there was a skate.
Stop leaving your freaking toys here, I'm not the most stable person, with my knees and stuff like that. When I'm walking, if I fall again, who the hell knows what's going to happen between my back and my knees and the other injury. And I don't understand why they just keep leaving their crap there. And I'm like,
that sounds frustrating.
was extraordinarily frustrating.
You said there was a skate. Was there something that happened with the skate on Friday?
When the kids were there, yeah, they keep leaving the skates really close to the house. I'm like, stop already, you know, because when you go around and you do stuff and you're bringing packages in, sometimes I bring the truck up. I'm like, I don't want to walk over your skates and shit. I'm like, pick your damn shit up. So
where were those skates when you picked them up?
I want to say they were.
So she didn't trip and fall on the skates. She didn't fall on the skates. She didn't slide. It's not on your property, but they're leaving it close to your property. And sometimes you move the truck and take things in, and she's afraid to fall. Like, ma'am, you're afraid to live. Like, what is wrong with you? This is the people like this live in like every other neighborhood. There's someone who's like this, and these people you got to stay as far away from as you possibly can. The nitpickers, it's not even just the Karens, it's the nitpicky people who have a problem with everything. These are the worst type of neighbors to have. It's absolutely a nightmare, and this is what we're seeing is the fallout from a nightmare neighbor.
Maybe 5-6 feet of the sidewalk.
On the grass?
Yes.
Okay. And you took a photograph of that with your phone?
Yes.
Okay. And there was a video at some point. It looked like you were taking a picture or a video through the screen from you being inside to them outside. Is that around the time frame that you shot him the bird or something along those lines? Maybe not right. Okay.
Probably.
Okay. Because it looked like there was a bunch of them kind of further out in the field, but there was a lot of kids playing out there, and I guess
the screaming. You heard how much they were screaming over the TV.
Okay, so when you went out there, and one of AJ's kids was out there, and this is around the time frame where you threw the skates out into the yard or something like that. But this is also that was what was reported to us from a few people.
Yes.
But also during that time frame was where that tablet situation came up. So is there any reason?
I don't know what this tablet thing is.
It's like an Amazon tablet, electronic tablet.
I never saw the tablet. Never. He kept saying, "Where's my tablet? Where's my tablet?" I had black.
Oh, so he did ask you about it, but you didn't have it.
Of course not.
So you never.
I never saw it. Never picked it. Never touched it up. Nothing.
Why would he make that part up? If
I have no idea.
Because he said, and it really doesn't change. It doesn't change anything. I'm just trying to understand. He said that he was going to the basketball courts after they played in the field. And he's like, I forgot my tablet. And he comes over and he sees you holding it. And he says, put it down.
No.
And you kind of tossed it down. And then that's when you threw the skates and one of them hit him in the toe or the foot or something like that.
No, because they were standing here and I threw it with my left hand.
Okay.
I made sure that I just threw him over to the other side.
And that's when you told him to fetch or something?
Yes.
You told him to
I
fetch
said, you
it?
can go fetch it over there now.
Okay.
Because he said, give me my skates.
Mm-hmm.
Your skates. I'm like, here, go get them.
You already had them in your hand at that point?
I
He said,
think
give them
so.
to you? Okay. What were you going to do with them?
Just throw them on the other side. Just get them away.
But you don't remember the tablet or anything
There
like
was
that?
never I never saw a tablet, never touched a tablet. I don't know where the hell the tablet came from. So I have no idea.
And then the situation with the umbrella, I know we had talked about it a little bit before, but do you remember who that was out there when, was that when, excuse me, was that when the older, AJ's older came over? What was he saying to you?
That's when he has said, I said, you guys need to leave. He said, I don't need to leave. I can be anywhere I want. I forget what the hell he said. Just something to the effect that I have no limits where I can go. I'm like, okay.
Okay, but he wasn't the one that was there when you tossed the roller skates into the yard. It was the other child.
There should have been both boys.
Were they both there with the roller skate thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you came out, the umbrella that was behind your door, was that the one?
Yes.
Okay, and what exactly happened with that? Because that's another one of those things where we were talking to people who were right there. Kind of, they already heard some yelling and back and forth, so they're kind of watching. And
I may have been talking with my hands, so.
Swinging the umbrella.
Yeah, just come on, guys, leave. And gesturing. So
how far away were they when you were doing this?
Oh
and where do you think you were at?
I remember being on the sidewalk And then they were at least 5-7 feet away from me.
Okay.
They weren't even close.
What did they do when you were swinging it around?
Nothing.
They didn't do anything?
No, there was no reaction.
They didn't say anything? They didn't back away?
I honestly don't recall.
Okay.
It didn't rain on Friday. Why did you have an
I
umbrella?
thought it was raining. We had precip, and I thought when the kids got quiet that it rained finally and they went home.
So that's why you had the umbrella out?
Yes.
So it sounds like there's a lot of things.
She's so aware of what the kids are doing. She's like, I thought it went. Where were you going? Like, why would you have an umbrella out and it finally got quiet? So you just assumed it was raining. This lady is off her fucking rocker, but she's not so far off her rocker that, sis, you couldn't have made a better decision. And that's why you've been sitting in jail for a past year. Just to let you know, I think initially she had no bond, but when she went to her bond hearing, they gave her a reduction in bond, or they gave her an actual bond, and she had $150,000 plus maybe like 1,000 times 4. So it was like 154,000, but I don't think she ever got out on bail. She's been sitting in jail. I don't know what her familial situation is, but clearly they didn't come with the coins to get her out. And I noticed that she had a eviction of her place. So so clearly I don't think she ever got out of jail. Once they arrested her, that was pretty much it, just in case you didn't know. All right, let's keep going. We're kind of close to done, but we could fast forward. I don't know what this is like a highly, okay, let's keep going. We still got some time. If you have to fall off, I understand. I know it's getting late on the East Coast.
What's going on with the kids that day? It sounds like you're taking videos, and then there was a middle finger towards this guy. It sounds like the skates are in the way. You had to throw those because she says, "Give me the skates." You throw the skates, and then you're swinging the umbrella because they're not getting away. There's a lot going on with the kids. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Are the kids yelling that day?
Oh, they were screaming and yelling.
Screaming and yelling. Okay. It sounds like there was things going on with them, and then one of the kids' moms comes up to your house and knocks on the door. Is that right? Did she say what she was knocking on the door about? I don't remember if we covered that.
AJ? Yes.
Yes, AJ. Was it about the umbrella or the skates or something different? Because
I
there's a
want to
lot.
speak to you because you're talking to my sons. I don't like the way you're talking to my sons.
Okay, so she bangs on the door and she wants to, because we've talked about all the things that happened that day. She's banging on the door and she wants to address you regarding how you're talking to her sons.
Yes.
And there's already been that prior incident in the 2 or 3 times that you guys met, and one of those times it was you're talking to her sons and you're saying like racial things like that, racial slurs. She said that you did.
She said that I did.
Okay. So it sounds like she has a reason that she wants to talk to you, and she's banging on your door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But she's enraged, she's screaming, she's not acting to me what would be like a normal, average, everyday, reasonable person. I mean, to me, that was someone who was really angry.
Okay, well, she's angry. Maybe you don't get it. I know you were a kid once upon a time, but are you mad because AJ actually sticks up for her kids? AJ sees that there was a situation with her children and she actually went to go stand up for them. Are you mad because she was standing up as a mother for her children, and according to you, no one stood up for you? Is that the problem? Like, do you not understand a parent standing up for their kids? Is it because you are stating that didn't happen for you? Like, you don't understand that? You don't respect parents that do that? You think the kids should just be harassed and talked to any type of way? Parents do defend and protect their children. That's what we do. And we know yours didn't, according to you. And maybe they did, but you're telling these officers that your parents didn't do for you. And she came to talk to you as a woman, and rather than you talking to her as another adult, you shot through the door. You didn't even give her the respect of conversation because you were mad, and you probably were scared because you have talked so much shit to these kids. You knew one day somebody's parents were going to come knock on the door, so you were ready. You had been building your arsenal of guns, and you were ready. You were ready for some action.
You're for certain that when you went to retrieve your gun, that's where you keep it in that trash can? That's where it was at? I'm sorry, did you remember what you were thinking about?
Susan, real quick here. Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health issues, depression, bipolar disorder? No. Have you ever had to go to a mental health facility? No. Have you ever sought therapy for anything?
Yes.
What have you sought therapy for?
For the rape.
For the rape, okay. And is that something you attended as a child or something you've attended later on in your life or something like that?
I was like 20 years old.
Okay. And when you were seeking therapy, what were you trying to heal? What were you trying to fix? Aside from the sexual abuse, was there something psychologically that happened to you?
I just shut down.
You just shut down?
Yeah, I wasn't feeling any emotions or anything like that.
Okay.
I just had no emotion whatsoever. It was just flat effect.
Okay. Did therapy help you with that?
Yes.
And then later on in life, you had a friend that was buried and the breathing in the dirt and then the screaming.
That
and then
happened before the therapy.
And then I remember one of the words you heard was that causes you to be triggered whenever you hear screaming.
And the reason why I say triggered is I worked at the guest house where they do therapy and stuff. So just picked up some of the words as I was working there.
Sure. So when you say triggered, how does that make you feel? What does that do to you?
It just makes me feel horrible.
Horrible. What is that like? What is that feeling? Is it a feeling inside your body? Describe that to me more.
Just absolutely horrible. Like I'm sick.
The screaming makes you feel sick. Okay. Does this sick feeling, does this triggered feeling ever make you do things that you wouldn't normally do? Say things you wouldn't normally say, act in ways you wouldn't normally act because of some trauma that you had?
I was going to say, I don't know.
You're not sure? Do you ever sometimes feel as if you get so upset about something, crying, angry, or something like that, that it overwhelms you, that you get overcome with emotion? Does anything like that ever happen to you?
Just trying to think. The only time was with death, but I figured that was normal emotions.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes whenever people get picked on and they get yelled at and they hear yelling and things like that with you, they say things and they do things they don't mean. They see red. That's what some people say. They see red. And I wasn't myself, detective, and they say things like that to me. And I'm trying to understand if some of these kids have triggered you and made you do things and say things that isn't you, is not Susan, is not the person that's sitting in front.
I feel like the questioning is giving her an opportunity to give like a snapped. I don't know. I just snapped. I was angry. I was this. I was that. They're giving her opportunity to give them something. And she's like, no, I was just scared. I thought she was going to beat the shit out of me. She fluctuates. If you notice, she said, I thought she was going to beat the shit out of me. And then I thought she was going to kill me. I thought she was going to beat the shit out of me. I thought she was going to kill me. But they're asking her these questions so she can't come with a snap defense, right? They're asking her all these questions. So the lawyer, I mean, she could still say she snapped, but at the end of the day, when they asked you, did you snap? Did you lose it? I just couldn't, I don't know. I wasn't myself. Any of those things. She seems as though she made a decision that she was in danger, and based on her decision making, she decided to use deadly force on some taunting. Okay. And it wasn't even the people that were taunting her, which typically are the kids. The kids are probably giving her a little bit of a hard time, or they're dealing with her, how she's dealing with them, all of those things. So, still no reason. She's not giving any valid reasons as to why she did what she did.
In front of me. Do you ever feel like anything like that ever happens to you?
The kids definitely just make me feel,
She's triggered by the kids. It's really the
They
kid.
call me grandma. They call me Karen. I'm trying to think.
Being called grandma is not a diss. That's not a diss. They know you're an older woman. You certainly don't act like mom. You don't act like grandmom either, but they see you as a grandmotherly type. But again, she's she's triggered by kids.
I think
She hates kids.
they said horrible things. The other thing was
Grandma's a horrible thing.
infection. I can't remember what the hell it was.
Do you say
But they called you
horrible
COVID. They
things
called
back
you
that you wouldn't
they called you
normally- that
Auntie
you're not proud
Rona.
of?
Absolutely. So I just, stop. It's like,
And
stop.
I didn't ask you this before, but I saw inside you have like it's almost a home office set up.
Mhm.
Do you work from home?
Yes.
You do? So you're all pretty much, you're always there and you're always
Yes.
having to be
Mhm.
susceptible to whatever
Exactly.
they do. And now it's summertime.
Yeah,
Everyone's
it's
in
a
school.
nightmare. But I'm very pragmatic. I'm like, if you see the stuff up here and this is my front door, why do you keep coming by my front door screaming and yelling? And they're like, doesn't matter. You don't matter. I had a little black kid come up to me and said, "You're white, you're old, you have no one in your life, you're not worth anything."
Oops.
So I'm like, great.
What did you tell that person?
I told him we're always alone. Guess what? You come in the world alone and, you leave the world alone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when you say that, it sounds
She says she's very pragmatic. What's wrong with the truth? I mean, I wouldn't have said you're not. I mean, it was rude to say you're not worth anything, but she's made these kids feel by calling them niggers and slaves and bitches and fuck you. This older lady that they say there's the grandma over there. So they probably, they say it a certain type of way. Like you're getting back. So you're getting back from the kids what you're giving them because they think you're mean. And then they're mean to you and you're hurt.
like you handled that well. When you say that you've said things before that you're not proud of, describe that to me.
I shouldn't have called them names. I shouldn't have said bitch or fucker. I should have reined it in a little.
Okay. And
Porsche
then when we
and
talk
Lambo
about
over here fighting.
racial slurs, have you made those not to anyone in particular? You've just spoken to the air, you've spoken to other people, because there's been multiple different ways that we've kind of been learning about you saying these things. Describe that to me and specifically.
In regards to?
Words like the N-word that you've said. Describe that to me specifically when you've said that.
I can't remember if I said it or if I didn't say it.
You said you were talking Hungarian.
You sound unsure.
Whether it's out of anger or, I mean,
I don't know.
someone's calling
You said you
names
might
and
have said
it's-
it.
You can become kind of overwhelmed with, you're having to hear this kind of thing all the time. And like you said, you might say something that you normally wouldn't say.
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
So I've noticed there's been some gaps in your memory, and that's why I've asked you about your memory, because some of the specific things that I asked, specifically this, you say, I'm not sure, I don't remember. And that happened a couple times while we've been talking today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to better understand that is why you don't remember some of these things specifically of what's going on. I don't know if it's something you feel shameful or embarrassed about. I don't want you to feel that way while we're talking. I'd rather you just be honest with me. But that's why I've been asking you some of those things. Is there any reason why anybody would have any video or anything like that of you saying like the N-word? Is there any reason why someone would have that?
Oops.
I have no idea. And if I did let it go, I'm sorry. I could have slipped out.
Being honest with, what context would it slip out, do you think? I mean, what would happen for you to say something like that?
If they were being extraordinarily rude, or if they were just, I was always taught the N-word meant that you were just being unlawful, dirty, just, I don't know, generally.
So you were taught the proper use of the N-word? Okay, interesting. I've never heard of that. And this is all as it relates to the kids. Do you hear this? There's nothing with the adults. It's not, well, the mom from down the street or even AJ. There's very few. There's like literally 3 or 4 interactions with AJ specifically, Miss Owens. Everything, this lady let these, like, the kids living their life, navigating, having fun, trying to be carefree. She was interrupting the kids' carefree lifestyle and drove her own self to the fucking sheriff's department and killed a woman. Like, she allowed herself to lose all sensibilities and allow her disdain for children to drive herself to a murder charge or homicide. Well, a homicide, manslaughter that could carry up to 30 years.
Not being pleasant.
Okay.
And that's only because, again, Dad was Hungarian, Mom was Polish, and it came up in the conversation. So they asked me to go to my friend Sheila and ask her, what does the N-word mean? And her mom said, no, it just means that someone who doesn't work, someone who is not productive, someone who is not, acting normally, lawfully.
Sure. Okay. And in the times that you,
I'm sorry. I think there's just like a lot of other words that are, I believe, out there to describe those things as well. I mean, what is it in particular about that word, or slave boy?
I never said slave boy. I never said the word slave. Never.
Okay.
So I don't know why you keep coming back to this.
Well, that's just what
someone had
told to
mentioned,
us,
and like I said,
No, never uttered the
that
word
you used the
slave.
word slave or
No, absolutely not.
something like that. Is there any reason why anybody would have a video like that? Is there any reason why that would exist?
No, there shouldn't be. Shouldn't be anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
the Underground Railroad comment again. Remember, there's people out there.
I never made an Underground Railroad comment.
Okay.
So I don't know where the hell that came from.
well, I kind of want to go through my notes real quick, make sure that we cover everything. We covered a lot of things. Can I get you another water or anything while I go through this? Okay. Yeah, let me go through the notes and make sure we didn't miss anything here. And we'll
My favorite part of these type of videos is when the person realizes they're not coming home. Look, so it's hour and 20 minutes. She's sitting there. Oh, did she knock on the door and ask to go? Let's wait and see. Hey, gotta go to the bathroom?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Please, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so sitting there alone. I hear they're back.
He's actually kind of been listening a little. And something that caught my ear, like when we were talking earlier, you had mentioned the words, and I asked you to repeat it because I wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. You had mentioned terminology like reasonable and prudent in reference to how AJ was acting at your door while she was trespassing and everything. Where did that come from, that terminology? Is that
watching TV?
Watching TV? Okay. Like documentary stuff, or like what?
Probably just crime shows and stuff.
Crime shows. Okay.
So reasonable and prudent are not part of your vocabulary. Typically, you picked it up off of watching some true crime. Interesting. Okay. Like, I would have just been like, it's part of my vocabulary. But so she's saying she picked it up on some crime shows. Okay. Girl.
And I have to ask you this: is
searching
have you done
Google.
any research on like the laws as far as like in Florida, as far as self-defense and things like that?
You've been searching Google?
You looked at it today.
When I was on Facebook, just some things that they had it up on Facebook.
Describe that. What did you specifically? What you were reading about and learning about?
Just, they said self-defense, and I'm trying to think what the hell else I looked at today.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, I know you guys have said a couple times in the chat that she'd been searching Google for stand your ground. So you're searching Google for stand your ground, and because of your cookies in your computer, not only are you going to see it when you show up to your Google main page, but all of your other social media is pulling from other social media cookies. So now you're going to get all kinds of stand your ground, self-defense type media blasted in front of you. So, okay, well, that's interesting.
So much crap, mostly emails. But I just remember saying self-defense, and there was a bunch of lawyers and stuff like that.
So prior to today, even the last time that you and I spoke on very early Saturday morning, you had used some of that same kind of terminology in describing the situation that occurred at your front door. Prior to today, had you ever done any kind of research like that? And before I ask, let me just say, if we were to look through everything in your phone or your home desktop computer, is there anything kind of research on your internet history that would show that you've done research on like self-defense? Or have you ever heard of the term stand your ground?
Yes.
Have you ever done any kind of research on that?
Yes, when it was mentioned on some guy shot someone at a convenience store, and they said stand your ground now.
Was that like a Florida situation? Because I know every state has kind of different laws.
I think it was Florida. I'm hoping it was Florida.
Okay. And when was that?
God, years ago.
It was years ago?
Yeah, that was a years ago thing.
So nothing recent that would be on like your internet browser history?
I just looked it up today.
Right, but I mean, other than basically before this incident occurred at your door, but we're not talking about like a couple years ago. We're talking about within the last few months. Would there be, because your internet browser, even if you delete it or you go on private browser, if you know, we take a look at those things, because we did go through your phone, the judge signed an order for us to be able to do that. He agreed that there was reasonable enough evidence to be able to do that. So if that were the case, if we were just to look through that, would there show anything that you were looking up, stand your ground or self-defense laws in Florida on the internet?
I don't know. I look up tons of stuff.
Is it a possibility that you looked that up?
Could have been. I don't know.
Okay.
I look up. I just, when I read articles, I just go and see why the laws were. You know, so I want to know why. Like, if they have an article, what happened in the situation? What you know.
Susan, I think you know the reason why I'm asking that question. You're smart, okay, and the reason is.
Oh hell no, absolutely. I know what you're thinking. Did I look up the laws so I could do something? No, absolutely.
This is not a situation where you set something up because you were tired of this person. You were tired of the situation that they put you in.
No.
Okay.
Sorry, no.
Okay, so while I was out there going through the notes and everything, I went through so when someone calls 911, as soon as that call goes to our communication center, it logs it, gives us a timestamp, hour, minute, second, from the very first time that call was received to the time that it's disconnected, okay? And that's for every single time someone calls. So the first time when you called 911, talking about the boys out there trespassing and things of that. So that call started at 8:54 p.m. Does that sound about right?
Yes. I really wasn't looking at the clock or anything. I just remember calling.
That's what time it says on our call center. And that call lasted for 5 minutes and it disconnected. At 8:59, deputies are on the way. Okay. Now you estimated that it was approximately 10 minutes after you disconnected until the AJ started pounding on your door. Is that correct? Is that what? Okay. So the second 911 call where you called, lady was banging on my door, I shot her through the door. That call came into our call center. It was received at 9:01, which is 2 minutes after you hung up with the communication center the first time. So that's 2 minutes that all these things that you say occurred happened at your front door. From pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding, I'm going to kill you, all these things. Within 2 minutes, she showed up at your front door and did all these things to the time that you pulled the trigger, went and found your phone, and then called 911. So, and that's why I'm trying to get.
To me, it seemed like that amount of time. That's why I thought it was that amount of time.
Well, so clearly we've established that was not true, that's not the case, but that's what you felt it was. So you also told me that that's what you heard, that she was going to kill you. Is it possible that she did not say that and that's what you heard or you believe, just like you believed it was 10 minutes between those calls?
I just thought she said, I'm going to kill you. I mean, that's what I heard. That's why I was so in fear of my life. I was like, Jesus Christ, and she's pounding on my door. She's going to break in. She's going to kill me.
But is it a possibility if you believe that there was 10 minutes to 15 minutes, adding in 10 minutes before it started, and then approximately another 5 minutes on top of that, that you believe that 2 minutes was 15 minutes? Was it a possibility that maybe you thought you heard that, but it wasn't that what she actually said?
I have no idea. That's what I heard.
Okay.
I'm telling you what I heard.
So, Susan, we've talked enough that I've come to a conclusion here. Everything that I've learned, okay, and I see this on a scale here. Detective Stiff had brought up, you are Susan. Are you the Susan that has done research on Stand Your Ground and has planned for this to happen? Was planning for this to happen? There's a spectrum here. Is this the Susan over here? And then there's also could be a Susan over here that was, I have a gun in the house.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
I'm scared. Someone is knocking on the door. I'd like them to go away. I'm just gonna, I picked up the gun and I accidentally shot the gun. There's a Susan somewhere in the world like that. You've somehow found a spot in the middle where you're trying to explain this, but it doesn't actually make any sense. That within 2 minutes, because we know it's 2 minutes, within 2 minutes, this person came over and they were able to put down a series of statements, such as, and you said this, that they came right up to and they want to have a discussion with the way that you were treating their kids that day. You said that they were able to make that sentence. I want to talk to you about the kids. I'm banging on the door. I want to talk to you about the kids. They're making statements like that. We've interviewed other people that it was a very brief interaction, and then you shot them. Now, this wasn't a long siege. It wasn't a castle siege. It didn't last for 20, 30 minutes. It was 2 minutes. So you're trying to tell us that a reasonable person would shoot somebody for less than 2 minutes of making statements outside. That doesn't make any sense. So that I have to look on the scale here. Where is Susan? Did she plan this? Is she a cold-blooded killer that plans things? Was this an accident, or was this something that got out of hand? Is it somewhere in the middle? That makes more sense. Not what Susan's telling me. Is it somewhere in the middle? Because I know that I talked to Detective Stiff. We kind of went through your first interview. And in that first interview, you had even said to the kids, you know what, go get your mom.
No, I didn't.
You said something along the lines as when they said, I'm going to go get my mom, you said, go get her.
Go get her, which is fine. I want to talk to an adult too. I don't want to talk to a kid.
No, but she likes talking to the kids. She likes going back and forth with the kids because when she goes back and forth with the kids, she remembers how she was going back and forth with the kids when she was a kid, and she's trying to relive. It's like she's damn freaking Michael Myers or one of these horror movie people. She keeps going through back and forth with the kids because she's reliving. She doesn't want to talk to the adults. She loves going back and forth with these kids because now that she's older, she can pull her I'm a grown woman card. But really and truly, you want to be that kid again. You want to be that kid again, and you love going back and forth with these kids because the kids have been giving you the business since day one.
And so this is happening.
And now she picks with the kids.
A few times during our interview
she's
also,
in this position.
You have these, I don't remember.
Because of
There's been a
herself.
couple times that you don't remember. And these are important things to remember. And you're not able to remember
She's
them.
ridiculous.
I believe that you do remember them. And that worries me. That makes me feel like you're not telling us it because you are that you are Susan, the person that is planning. I'm just trying to figure out who's sitting in front of me here. Is it over here? I've been planning this. I picked up the gun and I was waiting for her to come over because it was very quick. It was 2 minutes. Or it was, I had the gun in my hand and I made a mistake, but now I've dug my heels in and I've made these statements so far to Detective Stiff about a mistake I made, and I feel like I can't go back. I don't want to feel like you're at a point that you can't go back. We are all human. And I'm going to tell you this, 99% of the people that sit in front of
See how they're moving? They keep moving. Look at this one, Sheriff. He keeps moving. He keeps moving a little closer into her. Do you see this? Also, so when they went and got the phone records, so between her calling dispatch the first time and then AJ coming to the house, and her shooting the gun and then calling back, they said, did they say it was 2 minutes? It was Susan the bully. She's the bully. She's been bullying the kids, but she accuses the kids of bullying her. And then she tells them to go get their mom. And when mom comes to talk and say, what the hell's going on? Why are you talking to my kids crazy? She shoots through the door like a punk.
Me in this room.
Instead of opening up the door and having a grown woman conversation.
They do not tell me the truth like the entire time. But then we get to a point where I show them that everything they're saying actually doesn't make any sense. And I always tell them, I say, look, we want to go the path of least resistance. We don't want to go down the path of embarrassment or humiliation or I made a mistake. They don't want to do that, but I show them everything. And they say, you know what? And I don't hold it against them. I don't take anything personally. If you had said something before that was not true and you felt like you had to go down that path to protect yourself or whatever it is, but it's not true, this is your opportunity to tell us. And I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to say Susan is a jerk or a liar or anything like that. I'm going to say what Susan's saying now makes a little bit more sense for me and Detective Stiff. And this is that opportunity. If something is different than what you originally told us, I might be able to make sense out of it because I know your history now. I know that you were a victim of some kind of sexual trauma. I know that there was things that happened to you when you were in school. I know that you have gone through hard experiences. And maybe that influenced why you said the things you said before. But I can tell you right now, what we've learned, what we've discussed all leading up to this, it doesn't make any sense. So this is your opportunity to actually tell us that something that does make sense. I'm not going to hold it against you.
That don't make no sense.
I'm not going to get mad.
That don't make no sense,
whenever
Susan.
AJ was coming over that evening, what happened? What happened? Bring me to that moment when you had the gun in your hand. What were you thinking?
It don't make no sense. Go away. I just, I felt she was going to come through that door and kill me. I'm sorry, that's what I felt. I just felt she was going to come through the door and kill me.
But you said you thought she was going to come through the door and beat the shit out of you. Like she gave us like 2 or 3 kill me and 2 or 3 beat the shit out of me. Which one was it? Was she going to beat the shit out of you or was she going to kill you? Which one?
It was a tremendous fear.
Did you feel bad for what happened?
Oh, Christ, yes.
Do you? Because the first time that we talked, there was a point where I informed you that AJ had passed away. And I wasn't sure if you've been aware of that or not. I know they transported her in an ambulance from there.
No, I saw them doing CPR.
Yeah. So when I informed you that, you showed emotion. You showed what appeared to me to be at least somewhat of a remorse for what had happened. So do you feel bad for what had happened?
Absolutely.
Do you feel bad for the children?
Christ, yes.
So, and I think, Detective Pender we're trying to give you the opportunity to try to explain some of these discrepancies in the story, the things that don't really add up or make sense. And you maintaining that you were in fear for your life.
Yes.
It just doesn't make sense. And I feel like at this point,
it just don't make no sense.
Today, you really haven't, and I'm not judging you, everybody processes things differently.
Come on,
So
Susan. Come on now.
But you haven't really seemed remorseful for today, at least, for what had happened.
Oh, God. It just makes me sick. I don't know I can't take it back. It's transpired. It's in the past. I don't know what the hell to do. It's just probably me shutting down again.
Okay. Do you think that's a trauma response or something? I know you said you had gone through a lot of
probably
flat affect and things like that in the past.
I mean, it's a horrible situation.
Yes,
And
we're live,
it's
Ananda.
horrible because it goes against my faith. I broke the commandment. I just did I feel horrible for what I did.
Okay, so looking back on it now, and do you think that she was actually going to get through that door? I mean,
I honestly thought she was coming through the door. And as God is my witness, I thought she was going to come through that door. I'm sorry, it's just what I felt.
So, I mean, at this point, like, we've talked to you, we've talked to a lot of people and gone through the evidence. We've discussed all of this with the state attorney's office as well. After talking to you for several hours on Saturday morning and then today, I feel that there was a level of fear, but from everything I've seen, it doesn't rise to the level for you to justify shooting through a closed door and with a firearm. Okay, and I think you know that wasn't reasonable what you did.
I felt so terrified. I just felt so terrified. Here she comes again. Again she's screaming, she's yelling, she's acting unreasonable. And
let me ask you this. You said that you went on Facebook today. I can only imagine that at some point you may have seen some of the news dealing with this case and this story.
Yes.
Okay. What kind of stuff did you see?
I threw a tablet at the child. I said all kinds of things that I never said.
You know what I saw? I saw 4 kids that no longer have a mother.
Ooh, yes.
And I'm not taking away how you were treated, but those are children nonetheless, right? And now they don't have a mother to go home to. And I think you know what you did was wrong. I think you know that there were already deputies on the way.
But there was times I called and the deputies never showed up.
I understand. It's been 2 minutes. So
to me, it wasn't 2 minutes. To me, it was much longer. In my mind, it felt like.
But there's only one reality where time exists, and I understand perception of time can be different for different people. But in the reality of things, you had just disconnected. Within 2 minutes, a shot was fired through that door. There was that much that transpired within that 2 minutes where statements were made. I want to know why you're throwing stuff at my kids or whatever it was she was saying. And then shot fired and she's down. And then another 911 call comes in. There's no way to justify that. In my mind, I don't think in Detective Pender's mind, and clearly in other people's minds that we've discussed this case with the state attorney, our legal counsel, and things like that. So, I mean, at this point, we've discussed it with the state, and they are on the same terms as far as charging you with a manslaughter. Okay.
Ooh.
I don't know what to say. I was in fear for my life. I mean, honest to God, I just feared that she was going to come through that door. I'm sorry, that's how I felt. I can't change the way I felt. I mean, it was sheer terror on my part. I mean, honest to God, I was shaking.
Yeah, but there's no proof based on the examination of your property, the door, all of the things that your door was penetrable within the amount of time between you calling, Miss Owens knocking, you shooting, and the officers arriving. Like, you would have been fine. You said reasonable and prudent, and you were not reasonable and prudent in that math. That math doesn't math. That you were in some sort of paper thin straw house where she would have been able to make it through the door and your life was in danger. You were just having maybe a panic attack and you used the wrong strategies to make it through your anxiety and you killed somebody.
So one of the things I want to ask, because at the point where
and let me just say one more thing, the anxiety that you created for yourself through your repeated antagonization of these children, and then your perceived relationship with these kids antagonizing you back. These kids were not antagonizing you. They were defending themselves because you were gaslighting them into thinking that they were bad kids and they were bothering you, and they were just defending themselves and just trying to have a good time and enjoy their neighborhood. And you did this to yourself and you killed that lady.
I did let you know, and I informed you, what had ultimately happened to AJ after that shooting. That she had passed away, and obviously she has 4 kids, and I was observing the interviews that were conducted with them, and the emotions that they were going through. And you shared some of those same emotions at points through the conversations that we had. And I just want to, like, obviously I can't let you talk to them or give a message to them and like face to face. But I would like, if it's up to you, if you would like to write them a letter or something to kind of, you know, whatever's on your mind or in your heart.
You don't have to. We're just going to leave a notepad and a pen in the room. Obviously, we have some paperwork to do, so we're going to have to step out to do that, and obviously talk to our boss. We'll just I offer it to everybody that we can't let them talk to, so it's just something we do.
Understood. So if you'd like to do that,
we're going to get that paperwork going, like you said.
But that's where the state's at right now. That's where we're at. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in just a minute, okay? But if you'd like to write them something, that's right there, okay?
You know what? I think this is not necessarily a trick, but this is a tactic for her to write something down. I'm sorry for shooting your mom, this, that, and the third, getting her to actually own something on paper, and they can actually flip that into maybe somewhat of like a confession, so to speak. I don't know. We'll see if she writes something. This is interesting. I've never seen an interrogation where they give you a piece of paper and say, do you want to write something to the family? Would you like to write something to the kids? Here she goes. She's thinking she's still thinking privilege has been activated, but Susan, no, baby. Ooh, I would love to see what that note says. Now she wants to cry. She wants to cry because she needs to get home to her cats. She got the 2 cats in the house. You know what I mean? Any of us would want to get home, right? But when you realize you fucked up, I mean, oops. Let me see. Guys, okay, so some of you guys may or may not know the trial started in earnest today. Yesterday they did jury selection. The trial started today. The guy, the neighbor who would do the adult neighbor who would do the jump rope with the kids, he was on the stand. The 911 operator was on the stand. A couple of the police officers. So tomorrow's really going into day 2. But I started watching it. I haven't finished it. But I do kind of have a little bit of a summary of day 1, and I might do like a early live. So if you guys miss it, we'll talk about it, but I might stream this tomorrow, day 2. So if you guys are into it, the trial literally just started today. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us. We are at 3:09. So if you end up coming back through to finish up, we will see you in the morning. Thank you guys. I know it's late, but we're going to just finish this up and then I will see you guys tomorrow. But like I said, this trial actually just started. I cannot wait to hear what they say she wrote. I'm going to see if I can find it too, in her file. Oh, well, let me advance. Hold on. I'm sure they're watching her on a camera. This is the good part. This is when they come in, and this is the good part. Hold on. Okay, they're getting ready to come in.
We're going to head over there in a second. Can you go ahead and stand up? I need to get a picture of you before we walk you over.
Check this out.
Stand up for me real fast. All right, can you take a step back? This is not a good camera for... All right. All right, hang on one second. I'm going to go take the stick. We're going to head on over there, okay?
Oh, my God. I would be beside myself. She sat there for 2 hours and ran her mouth. She didn't think for a minute she needed to call a lawyer. You watch enough crime TV. You knew enough to go do some searches on Facebook. Am I live? Okay. You knew enough to do some searches on Facebook to try to find inadequate defense or inadequate defense and some talking points to give to the police when you were questioned, but no one told you not to talk to the police for 2 hours when you know that you are dead wrong? Y'all, if you have not seen this, can I get some ones in the chat if you have not seen this interrogation? Can I get some ones in the chat if you have not seen this? When you see this, this is going to be the payoff for you guys sticking with me for 3 hours on top of thank you so much. Bougie Gang, Unmatched. You guys are awesome. Nyla, thank you for coming through. You guys are amazing. I love you guys so much. I want everyone to have wonderful, beautiful, sweet dreams. And we just say a little prayer for the Owens family, ma'am, who lost her life doing the ultimate mom duty, which is defending your kids. That's what we're here for. You have kids on this earth. You defend your kids until the last. Like, it almost makes me want to cry thinking about it, but she did her damn thing. She did what she was supposed to do. She did not die in vain. She was protecting her children. And unfortunately, this creep of a lady took her out. But she, she's going to pay. She's going to pay. So just keep the Owens family in your thoughts and prayers because, like I said, Miss Owens did what she needed to do. And she was defending her kids and defending her right to be able to enjoy her home and her dwelling, right? And this lady is going to get what she deserves. Y'all, this is going to make you be like, okay, I'm going to bed.
All right, Susan. All right, we're going to have you go with this deputy here.
No.
I'm sorry?
no.
No what?
I can't.
What's wrong? What's going on?
I just can't. I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, we're to that point where that's what's going to happen. Obviously, this isn't a conviction. This is you being charged, and then you're going to have your day in court to present your side of the story. Okay, so you're going to go with this deputy.
No, I'm not.
You're going to be booked in.
No, I'm not.
She said, no, I'm not.
They're going to take your pictures, and then you will have an arraignment in the morning.
I'm not going to. Sorry.
There's a phone down there. You'll be able to call whoever you need to call, and right there in booking.
I'm not going.
But Susan, we are going. There's no change in that now. You're under arrest. In fact, we can probably go ahead and put handcuffs on her. Let's get you handcuffed.
No.
Stand up.
No, don't touch me.
Susan.
Stand up, Susan.
No.
Listen,
sorry, I can't.
It can go one of two ways. It can go an easy way or it can go a really hard way.
I'm sorry.
We don't want it to go the hard way.
I'm so sorry.
Susan, put yourself in our position. There's no choice in this. You're going over there.
I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Susan, you understand that from the point of the story that you've given us, that by refusing and resisting, that it's making you look bad, okay? And I understand your reluctance to want to go.
Good. I just can't do
Okay,
this.
well, they have medical staff over there that can assist
there's a
you.
nurse right in the front.
They can, you give them the prescription medications that you're taking, all of that. They will assist you.
They'll call Walgreens and Walmart. They'll get your prescriptions.
We're going over there, okay? You're going to go over there.
I just can't do this.
Okay, well.
Come on, Susan, stand up.
If
we
we
don't have
have
time to debate.
I can't do this.
Okay, but do you understand that you're under arrest and you're going to be taken to the jail one way or another, okay? Susan?
I just can't do this. I'm sorry.
What you're saying and doing right now is not reasonable.
I know it's not
There's
reasonable,
been people.
but I just can't do this.
So when you say it's not reasonable, that doesn't make sense to me.
I understand. I just can't do this. I'm sorry.
Okay. Then this is why we're in this position here, Susan, is because the decisions you make are not reasonable. You make just like what we're experiencing right now.
I'm sorry. I just can't do this. I can't do this.
I've had people sit in this chair that have done things and they get up, they walk out on their own accord. They've done some really bad things. Okay, you're not the only person, but I need you to.
I just feel horrible. I can't do this.
Okay, well, we're going to go to the jail. There's no changing this. There's no stopping it.
I don't care. Kill me.
We're not going to kill anybody. We're going to take you to the jail. We'd rather you walk on your own. We'd rather you just walk down there. It'd be so much better for everybody if we could just walk down
Could
there.
you just stand up for me?
No.
So what do you plan on sitting here the rest of the night?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to die of a heart attack.
Well, like I said, they have medical staff over there. We want to be able to get you over there.
The quicker we get you over there, the quicker someone over there that's in medical can see you.
No, I just can't do
Susan, this is what's going to happen. We're going to put you in handcuffs, and if we have to forcefully bring you out there, that's what we have to do because we're obligated to take you to the jail now, okay?
Thank you for standing up.
I understand that.
So put your hands on your back for me.
Thank you, Susan.
I didn't do this on purpose. This wasn't a purposeful act. I did not premeditate it. I didn't do anything like that. This is ridiculous.
Well, Susan.
We're going to go out this way.
I mean, okay. That goes down in history as one of the best. Guys, before you go, hold on. Don't leave yet. Hold on. You guys have got to see. Hold on. I just want you to see what Susan is giving right now. We're like a whole day behind, but hold on. Let me just give you what she's giving right now. Hold on, This is Susan at this moment. This is her today in court. I'm not even going to play any sound so I don't ruin it, but this is day 1 of the trial. This is her now. She's lost a tremendous amount of weight, which of course she's in jail, right? And this is what she's giving. And she hasn't been out. She'd been given a bond, but I don't think that she could afford the bond. It was like 100. First she had no bond, and then she actually got a bond, which was like $150,000. And she's got a public defender. She's been doing a lot of crying. Her bailiff snickers and partially laughs. Like I caught her basically. I'm not going to say the bailiff is laughing, or not the bailiff, but her security. But she doesn't look. You know how some of the sheriffs are just stone face. Ma'am does not. That's just my observation. Anyway, and they say she's allegedly 59. I'm like, sis. Okay, but can you guys see me doing this? I'm not looking on 2 screens right now. There's one of the, okay. I'm going to find some highlights of the people. This is that's definitely one of the sheriffs that came to her house. Some of the last couple of sheriffs that came through, the 911 operator testimony. Where is she? I think she's somewhere around here. Yeah, this is the 911 operator, the 2-minute 911 call. They're going to show the body cam video. They showed a lot of that stuff. This was, one of the neighbors, the guy, is he one of the first ones? I think he's one of the first ones on the stand. The guy that they interviewed a couple of times from the neighborhood who was on dash cam. So it's interesting. So anyway, we'll get caught up tomorrow. I just wanted to kind of introduce you. If you guys had not, is the trial on Law and Crime? No, I don't know. I think they talked about it on Law and Crime today, but they are showing it on some Florida channels. I might live stream it tomorrow. So if you guys are into it, I'll turn it on. I don't know if I'm going to do commentary throughout it. I'll probably dip in and out. I'm sure I'll be dipping in and out. But I might live stream it tomorrow. So if you guys want to watch it here in our chat room, then when it starts tomorrow, I can put it on and we'll talk. I'll be in here. Um, but I gotta go to tennis. I gotta, you know what I mean? Like I got the things, but I can be streaming. So but yeah, if you guys want to chat through it and have it running, I can do that on tomorrow. But yeah, that's so and then we'll just get caught up. We'll get caught up on all the details because we've already missed day one testimony. So we'll have to get caught up. Okay. But yeah, I'll stream it tomorrow if you guys want me to. I'll be happy to do that because it's a very interesting case. And I mean, whether you're, I just, from a mom point of view, this really touched my heart because if I'm going to get mixed up into anything, I'll be mixed up in something because of my kid. And I'm offended that you disrespected my child before I even care about me because I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I know how to just brush shit off, but you're not going to come for my kid repeatedly and I'm going to have some words with you. You know what I mean? So but like I said, keep Miss AJ in your thoughts and prayers, or just send her an RIP in your heart, because she died defending her kids. I really that's what touches me the most. But anyway, the Crump Benjamin Crump was in the courtroom. I don't think. Let me see. He wasn't in the. I don't know if he was in the courtroom today. They didn't show him like that. But they showed it on, hold on. During jury selection, they showed it yesterday. Girl, look how bad she looks. Look at her security. Look at her yesterday. Baby, 59. Okay. Benjamin Crump and the family are not, they are watching they're observing. I'm sure they were there today. Let me see if I can get you. The family is sitting in the front row. But they're observing the proceedings, of course. Was that them? There you go. That's not Benjamin Crump right there. Wait, hold on. Where is the family? Hold on. Maybe it was today. Wait. I feel like I keep passing it by. There was there you go. Girl, Mr. Crump is not playing. Are you seeing this? Hold on. Here we go. And then the family. Okay. He's in there. You should be able to see now. Hold on. That's Mr. Crump right there with the blue tie. There you go. That was yesterday during jury selection. Anyway, guys, I'm going to let y'all go. Y'all got that, right? Okay. All right, guys. I will, when this starts tomorrow, I guess 8, 9 o'clock, I'll have this up and running. And we'll chat through it. I'll be in and out, talking to you guys. But yeah, kind of like we watched this today. Okay. If you guys want to watch it over on there, then you're welcome to do so. I'll see how it goes. I'll start it up and we'll see. If you guys want to be here, let me know down in the comments and I'll start it up. If you guys are going to be over at Law and Crime or Court TV, then I'll see you guys over there. But you guys let me know if you guys want me to stream it, then we'll do that. Okay. Anyway, guys, I'm going to let y'all go. You guys have a wonderful evening, sweet dreams, and I will see you at one point or another on tomorrow. So you guys are saying yes, you guys want me to stream it. Okay. I will. You like our sessions? I love our sessions too. Okay. I will see you guys in the morning. Okay. I will send a note over to Love Lies and Lace Fronts and let them know to join us over here that we are on some mommy. We are on a trial watch for a mom who is gone too soon at the hands of a whole Karen, and that they should join us over here. Okay, we have some serious mom business to handle tomorrow in support of another mom. Okay. All right, guys, you guys take care. I love you guys. Have a good evening.